the People Everywhere, Everything Now podcast. How's it going? Typo is here, joined with co-host Aaron, along with Megan, who will be joining us for this special episode.
The bane of Aaron's
podcast.
I was expecting him to say something rude.
No. We can try to be funny, but we're doing something on this episode that we promised that we wouldn't do, and that we really wanted to steer away from. But it's kind of important to talk about. I think everybody needs to be heard.
I agree. I think it's very important, and I don't know. I feel like it puts me in a weird position. So obviously, unless you live under a rock, you've noticed what's been happening in our country and what's been going on in the media, and you can see protests turning violent with the assistance of our police officers.
Yes.
Megan and I actually went to a protest on Monday, and I don't know. It wasn't the way that it was put out there in the media. Yeah, it was a little heated, but no one was like pushing cops over. No one was trying to start anything. Luckily, the one that we went to, no one was like part of Antifa, or Austin has a group called the Austin Red Guard, which they're known for being like extreme leftists. And luckily, no one came out for that. So it was a pretty peaceful protest.
Yeah, were there multiple Black Lives Matter protests going on, or was it one big protest? Or
so this one, I'm not even sure which group it was with, but I mean, just the week before George Floyd was killed, I think it was a week, right? It was the 28th, I believe.
What was?
When Mike Ramos was killed here in
Oh,
Austin. Unarmed, hands up, like everything. So that's why if you see anything from Austin, it's usually hands up, don't shoot. That's
yeah,
what people chant a lot, or like asking them to say their names.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm diving right into it, and
Yeah,
I can't
you
help
are.
myself. Dude,
I know.
Yeah, I can't help myself.
Well, it's been all of our minds, honestly, and it's really just the icing on the fucking cake of nihilistic despair thought, or discouraging thought. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but that's how I feel. I feel nihilistic. I'm trying to be positive in my life, and then some shit like this happens, and it just reminds you of stuff that, I don't see that shit on a day-to-day basis. I live in a fucking bubble, dude. Like, I put myself in this bubble. I don't go anywhere. I eat, sleep, go to work, and come back, then repeat, and that's what I do. So I don't see racism. I see people, and I try to project happiness towards other people, even though I am in a natural state of nihilism. I'm trying to get out of it, dude. Then this shit happens.
I mean, it's super easy to fall into that nihilistic view, I think, especially in this day and age as a progressive punk rocker, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not really a progressive punk rocker, though.
Yeah, I know you're not really anything except for an anti-country music star liker.
Yeah, fuck that shit, dude. Like, seriously.
That reminds me, somebody said that country is, what was it? Farm emo?
Yeah, emo of the South.
Yeah, so good, dude.
It is. I enjoy it.
So true, though, isn't it?
I can't
Country
do it.
emo of the South.
I love it.
Yeah, Megan fucks with it a little bit. She's got a, what's that t-shirt?
Oh, my Shania-sidal tendencies.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude, it's like the suicidal tendencies, like, style of text.
Uh-huh.
But I can't even fucking say it.
It says
dude.
Shania-sidal tendencies, and it says, "Man, I feel like a Pepsi."
So it's like Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the joke. I know who that is, because she's like super famous, but
She's amazing. I fuck with her. Hard.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and even though. So, one thing I want to say is that, like, that man was murdered, and everybody agrees on that on both sides. From what I see, I don't see any opposing. Politically, I don't see anybody that's saying that he wasn't, or that is defending the police officer, saying that like Floyd should have done this, or the cop was doing what he was supposed to. Nobody's saying that. Everybody looks at that and is like, that's murder. Yeah,
I have actually seen
as far as politically,
people like say that he had stuff in his system, probably weed.
Oh yeah,
And they're using that.
toxicology report. Plus,
Not exactly sure what that's saying.
yeah,
Like what?
I've heard that too. That he has, and he has he had priors as well, and apparently like a while ago, but he turned his life around and he's doing well from what I understand.
Yeah, but
And
so
it
did
literally
the cop.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, but still,
And he had never
like,
turned anything around. The cop
exactly.
had previous
That's a-
cases of misconduct, like
Exactly, and that I really want to hear about those previous cases because you can call blatant racism on this, but it's not a clear-cut case of racism. This is a clear-cut case of police brutality. Honestly, it's a clear-cut case of murder, but we don't know anything about that guy, so we can't. I don't like it that people point their finger and say that's racist, but I hope. Like, well, I don't hope. It's like I'm probably going to be proven wrong in that statement. Like you go back to those cases. I really want to hear about them because when you see that they're all black, that's a fucking problem. I'm not saying that there's not racism or anything like that.
I don't know. I had a thought earlier this week, kind of
What's
after
that?
going to that first protest.
Okay.
So I've had two kind of epiphanies for myself at least. And the first one being that this is not a black issue. It's not I
Right.
don't even think that this falls into Black Lives Matter's hands as far as this is something that they need to be standing up for. This is something that is a white issue. It's white cops that are doing this, and you see the occasional maybe black, Latino, or Asian American a cop using excessive force. But once again, it's excessive force, and it's almost never murder,
Yeah.
And so I stand with Black Lives Matter and all these other movements.
Right.
But I feel like as a white person, it's really our problem because we're the ones that are doing this shit,
Well, not only that we're the ones doing it, and I hate to.
We're the ones keeping it going.
I'd hate to blanket all white people like
you
that,
have to at this point.
Well, it's a white person issue because I think that the police, it affects everybody when they use excessive force, and people end up dead. It's a people of America problem. Our police system. We live in a police state. That's where we are. People say, hey, you're supposed to be protecting and serving. That might have been in their job description, but they don't have to uphold that whatsoever. If they're a sheriff, they swore an oath to the Constitution. If they're a city cop, that doesn't matter. They're literally a hired goon. That's what they do, and you can tell it's prevalent. They're freaking killing people, man.
I guess the better way to say that, to actually make it make sense, isn't that it's not a black matter, Of course it is.
Right.
But it should fall on everyone. And
I think it does. I think people recognize that though, because so who do you see marching out there? You see everybody out there, dude. Everyone's out there. Everybody's outraged. I've seen the occasional video of an ignorant racist dropping N-bombs as they're driving by. You know what I mean? I've seen a couple of those videos, which I was honestly surprised to even see that. That's crazy, dude.
I'm not surprised.
I am, man.
Whatsoever.
It's just not what I expect to watch. When I'm flipping through videos and I see it, I'm like, whoa. What do you mean because of where I live?
Because of where you live. Dude, that city, when I first moved there, the name Anna, Texas.
Oh, I know.
When everybody always made the joke and always tried to make it funny.
Well, the thing is that it wasn't
ANNA stands for something specific.
Yeah, let's not say it though.
I'm not saying it.
Extremely racist.
Yeah,
There's a sign.
I would never say that.
Yeah,
but it's how is that a fucking thing? That's why you don't see it, dude. You still live in that town, dude.
Well,
all those people,
bigger,
especially
bigger
if you go to
now.
construction, dude. You work with people of color, and that's it. You don't really go out,
I don't. I don't do anything. I work with Mexicans all day long.
I work downtown Austin, where We have a very highly, like, densely populated area of Black and Mexican just homeless kids, dude. I'm talking
Yeah.
like kids that are going to juvie because that's the only place they can go to, and they get out and they're walking down the streets just like, hey man, can I get like $1 or something? Just because they don't even know what the fuck to do, you know?
Yeah.
And then they all end up just getting strung out on K2 and shit. And I've watched multiple people pass out and be hospitalized from just smoking up K2 because that's all they can do. And then the cops come around and they don't do shit. It's there's a company that goes around downtown and like cleans up and shit.
Oh,
And-
yeah?
Yeah, I fucking forget what they're called.
What do you mean cleans up? Like trash or?
Yeah, like they mostly just walk around. They're wearing like red shirts and they just
Yeah.
clean shit. But they're the ones that get involved and try to like pick up these people. I saw a guy like blacking out basically from K2,
Mhm.
walking across the street, and he falls and just lays there on the crosswalk halfway in the street. Everybody
Yeah.
walks past him. I'm in my office, and I'm like, no one's fucking going out there and checking on him. No one's fucking doing anything. It's a black guy. I was like, okay, cool. Well, fuck this. And so I go out there, and of course I get somebody else's attention. They come, and we get the cops to come or the paramedics to come, and they pick him up and take him away.
Yeah.
There's like so many people just literally stepped over him, dude.
Yeah, that's messed up, dude. That is messed up.
And maybe that's
Yeah.
not a race thing. Maybe it's a homeless thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I,
It's a
knowing
separate problem.
knowing Texas and the places that I've been and the way that I've seen people treat each other, I have to fall back on feeling like you're racist until you prove it. Like if
How does somebody prove
doesn't even
that
make
they're
sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. How would you prove that you're not? That's the question. You know what I mean? Like I see a bunch of videos of Trump supporters getting called racist. I saw this dude lose his shit because they were calling him a Nazi, and he was like, "I'm not a Nazi." And he's obviously one of the Trump supporters that were out there.
that dude can catch hands in a heartbeat.
Yeah, well, I mean, you should see it. But I also saw this Karen catch shit because she was wearing a MAGA hat, and all she wanted to do, and it was obvious, all she wanted to do was join the protest. Got out of her car, walked up, smile on her face, and everybody just jumped on her.
You
And
don't
I
wear a
don't-
MAGA hat if you're not trying to
Okay,
say shit.
no,
Do
and
something
Absolutely.
like that.
No, I get that, but we can't abandon the ignorant. Okay,
We have to.
we have to lift them up. No, because
No,
we have
there's
to
no
work
lifting
together.
up people that are so slumped over in their own shit. The only
I
thing you
don't
can
know.
do is roll them over and let them drown in their own filth, and
No,
then move
that's a bad
forward
idea.
and push the entire country past them. They
That's a
will
bad
become
idea,
the
man.
bootlickers. They will be the people that will be beneath everyone.
You know, they're going to be the ones that are going to vote Trump in a second term because they were denied acceptance from the group. All it does is create a bigger divide, and you just wait and see, man. Whenever election year comes around, or a year, whenever it's the end of this year, right? November comes around. This is a time that everybody, even the Trump supporters, I can't speak for all of them, of course, but they want to join in on this, and they see that it's an injustice, and they see it's wrong. Can't we help them realize that other things are wrong? Do we have to fight them? Do we have to push them down? Because all that does is divide the people more. Divide and conquer. That's literally the whole point of this whole, like, why the media is blaring it. It's because it's corporate owned, and all they are showing are riots and people fighting, and they're not showing the good stuff. There was a sheriff in Michigan was like, "Hey, we'll stand with you." They're taking knees with each other. They're marching with each other. You're not seeing that on the mainstream media. It's not that's a great thing. You know what I mean? See police officers saying, "All right, like let's march together."
I mean,
They
we had a
recognize
cop
it.
march with us, but they were escorting us.
Oh, well.
They even said that they were escorts. Now,
Well.
also that happened in Houston,
Mhm.
and then 10 minutes later,
I don't think that was Houston.
I think it's Dallas, right?
In New York,
fuck New
and
York, man.
other places, you'll see cops kneeling with protesters. They get a picture. and then they mace them and stuff and shoot them like
Seriously?
30 minutes later.
The one that I was talking
Oh my
about was the
gosh,
chief of
that's so
police. And I
bad.
think it was in New York.
Oh, that was where he was talking to them. The one I
Oh,
was telling you about.
yeah, I think so. There's one where the chief of police knelt down and was taking pictures and like shook hands, whatever. And then 10 minutes later, authorized tear gas and rubber bullets. And then a bunch of people got fucked up.
Mm-hmm. That's in multiple
And they were
places.
still peacefully protesting.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Damn,
So yeah, they're
man.
not going to show that because that's too extreme for them.
It's
They're going
like-
to show the looting and
That's
shit
pretty
because
messed
they got
up.
fucked up. You know?
In
Yeah.
Austin, they were just shooting people a few days ago, and now they want to be, walking with protesters because they fucked up. And yesterday
Yeah.
they brought the protesters cookies. Like,
Oh.
What
okay,
the fuck? I missed the cookie day?
you missed the cookie day. They
Sons of
brought his
bitches.
treats.
Honestly, I would
The
trade that
cookie
cookie
day.
day to be there whenever they were fucking hurting people.
At what
Yeah,
point?
absolutely.
At what point
They were like,
does
"Fuck your cookies," though.
the protest become a riot? That's the thing. So
When Antifa and extreme leftists
there
show
you
up.
go.
Or
There you go.
when the police just start shooting people for.
And that's okay. Now I can speak to we should not be absolute in our opinions, because we make an absolutist statement and then we're proven wrong. We look like idiots. It also closes us off to learning something new. So so from what I see, and I see these good things going on everywhere, and it's nice. It can be done. People can work together. The protesters, and I draw a line between protesters and rioters because there is a defined line.
Yeah,
The protesters, the peace and love, man, and they see the extremists causing havoc, and they're stopping them, and they're saying, "What do you think?" And in LBC, you've got gangs working together to stop protesters
I
and
saw
stuff. Yeah, man. So if anything, I'd like to say that everybody is realizing that the state that America is in, and it isn't, and it does not, like, it's not just the racism that I'm talking about. It's deeper than that, man. It goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's just the what am I trying to say? Man, I'm gonna get all conspiratorial on you and shit.
I was actually thinking about bringing up a conspiracy theory because we were talking about Trump supporters and how they want to join, and
Yeah.
a lot of them actually think that this whole thing is a conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah.
That Antifa is run by George Soros.
Well, that's a proven fact, actually. He's
Is it?
given money
How
to
so?
their organization. You just follow the money. That's been proven.
You know, George Soros also has money in Black Lives Matter too.
Oh yeah, he does. But
He's got money in everything.
you
And
know,
they also think that George Floyd didn't die.
Oh, well, that's kind of crazy. No,
damn,
I
I'm
actually
sorry.
heard that. I actually
Fucking
heard that
Trump
one.
supporters are so fucking dumb.
Well, the problem with when George Soros he's putting his eggs in two different baskets, right? So let's say I'm not sure about the Black Lives Matter movement. I've heard the same thing, but let's say he did put money into it. That movement was hijacked by people who really think that Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's like people hear that and they're like, yeah, I can get behind that, and everybody takes that. Now it's a movement. It's not paid for by, you know what I mean? But for Antifa, their motives are clear. They're extremists, and they are not there to protest. They are there to loot. They are
Tear
there
down.
to riot, incite
Well,
violence.
I would even say that, I don't know. I don't know anybody who's part of Antifa or anything like that, but
Same.
what Antifa stands for, anti-fascist, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't think that even Antifa's there to loot. I think that's just fucking other people who are shitty that don't care about anything. Because
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
that's what's been
That's
bred
a
in
good
America
point.
over the last 100 years, basically.
Looking for an excuse. People just looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
Just
But
a lack of
kids-
compassion and a lack of understanding for anyone that's not themselves. And Antifa might be there to fuck shit up, and I agree with some of it. I do think that a lot of establishments need to be torn down and redone, whether that's metaphorically or even physically. At some point, deep down inside of me, I do have that rage where I feel that something needs to happen to that extreme, you know?
Yeah, I think
I think
I'd agree
that's
with
the way
that
a lot
too.
of
I
people
think people feel that, man. I mean, how else are we supposed to do it? You know, when we all talk to each other, and we've been talking for a while too. Something needs to be done about the Federal Reserve. Something needs to be done about poverty. Something needs to be done about it, and we put our trust in these politicians, and they're all corrupt, man. Not all of them, most of them are, but the longer you sit,
The ones that don't last long or don't get in are the
Yeah.
ones that are good.
Yeah, exactly. Like who is it, Kelsey Gabbard? She's a presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. She dropped out, but she didn't take a dime from special interest groups. That's why she didn't make it. She's not playing the game.
Yeah.
She's not going to make it, and that's how it goes, man. And I mean, a lot of this can be attributed to the what do I want to call it? It's like, you know, the form of the crony capitalism that we live under, the
Fucking
modern
system, dude.
capitalism. It's the system, and that's what it is. It's what it's evolved into. It's been taken advantage of. It's been manipulated, and you know, we are being distracted. I truly believe that this is all a distraction for rich people to put their money, move their money around, to get legislation passed without anyone paying attention. This is what governments do.
There is an act that's going to be passed that I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's supposed to limit internet something. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah,
There is
yeah.
a bill trying to be passed right now.
It's-
The shit pie guy.
It essentially it monitors our speech and censors our speech on the internet,
Yeah.
so it won't be free speech on the internet.
Yep.
Essentially, that's what they say anyway, which would be terrible. I mean, I don't think that we need a safe space. I think that abrasiveness is necessary for growth. You have to run into troubles. You have to know what pain is to know how to feel good. You have to know what evil is to be good, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
we
that
talked
definitely makes
about
sense.
that in like one of the first podcasts that we did.
Yeah.
Was like, in order to do the most growth and the most beneficial growth as a person, you have to be torn down. You know,
Yeah.
you grow exponentially when you start fresh. It's like the whole clean slate as far as like a job. Like, you have no training, you're gonna do your job better than someone who was taught 10 years ago how to do the job, because they're gonna have their own system in place.
Right.
Things change, and that's what I think needs to happen.
Yeah, I agree. There needs to be change, and it needs to be done. And there's so let's say the riots continue, okay? And I hear a lot of young kids speaking up to this, saying, well, the Civil Rights Act was passed because of civil discourse. There was rioting, there was looting, you know, for 6 days after, 6 days before it was passed, it was rioting and looting. And they finally passed it. But my question is, what piece of legislation, what can we put in text that's going to stop this from happening, that's going to protect people? Because it's already legislation. So
I think that, I mean, this is just something that, so my roommate Lucian is an activist, and then a couple of my other friends and stuff, I've asked this question too on Facebook, and like, accountability is the only thing that can really change this. Like, the system is rigged, and if there's no accountability, these cops who do get reprimanded still get away with shit.
that's a good
Like,
point.
in my eyes, the cop that killed Floyd should be first degree murder. It was a heinous murder. At first, it was a third degree murder, dude.
I thought it's still,
I pushed you over,
I know what
and
third
you've
degree
knocked your
is.
head, and yeah,
it's accidental.
There's no fucking way. Yeah,
I thought that
that's
it's
not
still,
accidental.
Is it not still
It
that?
got switched to second degree murder, I believe.
Yeah.
What's the difference between third and second degree murder?
Second degree, I believe, is intended but not premeditated, right? Google.
Yeah, that might be it. Actually, I mean, that makes sense to me. Unless you
Like,
plan the whole thing.
intent to harm
Right.
but not kill maybe.
Yeah. Well,
Still not right.
no. You got Google, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
Googling it.
Anyway, it's
What's funny is I
easy.
do second-degree murder definition, and it says Michigan right there.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody wants to know what the difference is. Everybody's talking about it because everybody has a podcast.
Intentional
Intentional
killing
murder.
without premeditation.
There you go.
Intent to cause only serious bodily harm.
You know, I don't care if they put that officer to death. Really,
100%.
Me
I think
either.
they should.
I don't think anybody does. I think everybody's on the same page here. Everybody is. Everybody sees this. Everybody sees what it's doing to our country, and everybody wants change. And that's why I really feel like we can fucking do something about it. We don't need to burn the streets down. We need to talk about it. And I don't think
I don't think that's going to be happening as much.
Well,
to be honest, because I feel like the people
know.
are really unifying. While we were out there,
Mhm.
like every time they thought that somebody was going to be coming to try and fuck things up, they
Shut it down
warned
so
everyone
fast.
with us. They were like, "Hey, you be vigilant. It is up to us to keep this the way it is." It's like the cops don't care. He's like, if
Nice.
shit starts popping off and the cops need to get involved, they will. He's like, our job here is to not let that happen. So these people
Yeah.
that are supposed to be coming in the next couple of minutes to start shit with either us or the cops, you shut that shit down.
Yeah.
So you take them and you bring them away.
Yeah.
And
That's,
like,
uh,
no
Even when
one,
people were
luckily,
just
no
like
one ever
raising
came.
their voice,
Well,
they'd
that's
be like,
that's
"You need to go."
Yeah,
That's
people
good.
started like yelling, like very aggressively, like very pointed at people, and people were kicking them out. They're like, "Look, first off, here's the big problem that Megan and I both had. You're fucking white. Back off. Your voice has been heard for years. Can be heard anytime you want to. Shut the fuck up.
Absolutely.
Right.
Listen
yeah.
and bolster your black brothers and sisters. Anybody of color. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
If they have something to talk about, or they have a question they want to ask a police officer, it's not on you to be, well, I am your voice since you don't have one. No, they have a
Mhm.
fucking voice. It's just not heard. It's ignored. And what
Yeah.
you do is you stand there as a punching bag in between those cops and in between those agitators to the people who want that change and the people who need that change so that they can actually live, you know?
Yeah.
And so people that were doing that shit, they were getting fucking kicked out too by everyone.
Good.
No
man.
one was having their shit.
Good. You bring up a good point though. I was here listening to somebody and he was like, "Hey, white people, why don't you take a step back?"
Yeah, why don't you let us have a turn, please?
Yep.
No, it was a white dude saying it. He's like, "Hey guys, why don't we take a step back? We don't need to listen to you complain about
I saw
it."
that. Was it on TikTok?
Yeah, it was a
Probably.
TikTok.
I think I saw
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
so dude,
Yeah.
honestly, TikTok has. So the other night, I was sitting there texting Megan, and we're just like having like a regular conversation, and then out of nowhere, I was like, "God damn it, I'm crying like a bitch right now." And like, it's this TikTok of this probably 4 or 5-year-old girl, like explaining why human rights are something that should be given to everyone.
Yeah.
And dude, it fucking broke my heart.
Aw.
I don't know if I can-
Yeah. You see that
I
kid
will
got
cry.
hit by? You see that kid got hit
That's
by
why I
tear
didn't say
gas?
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
in Austin, Sunday, 2 kids. One of them, 16-year-old, I think he's Mexican. He's Latina, I'm pretty sure. And he's standing on a hill.
Oh yeah, I saw that footage.
And he got shot with a beanbag in the fucking head, dude.
Yeah. No, he
From
got
distance,
knocked
too.
out.
Like,
Ah.
he got
He was-
sniped, dude. I saw the
he-
video, and it looks like he gets fucking sniped like Call of Duty, dude.
Dude, he was just sitting there. He was
He
literally
was just,
standing
he's
there.
standing
I
there
think
with
he
his
was on
hands in his pockets, dude.
Oh, is it there in his pockets? I think he was on his phone, but he was definitely looking down. He was just sitting there, dude.
Not even 40 feet from where he was,
Oh yeah.
a pregnant woman was shot in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What
Oh
happened
yeah,
with that?
man.
I'm still not 100%. I saw.
I heard that she lost the child, and then I
Yeah.
heard that she didn't lose the child.
Yeah, I told you 'cause
Yeah,
someone
that's-
else said that she lost a child, and then I saw something else that said she didn't, and I saw something today that she did. So I'm pretty sure she didn't. Though.
It's so hard.
I
man.
really hope not, because
It's
that's
it's
like
really hard to know. There's
hard
so
to
much
find information
disinformation.
anywhere.
It's so crazy. I've seen some crazy stuff. Like I've seen old footage of previous riots and movements and stuff like that captioned as if it happened today. And
Yeah. Yep.
which isn't cool. I've seen a lot of repeat stuff. We don't need repeat stuff, man. There's a lot of fresh footage out there of what's actually going on. Like you see the
Yeah.
one, you see all those bricks everywhere. how those
Yep.
Antifa,
bricks
dude.
are
Or
staged.
supposedly, allegedly.
Have you seen them
Antifa.
dropping off the
Supposedly.
bricks? The police trucks dropping off the bricks?
No, I saw police trucks
I saw them
collecting
taking them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
collecting them. I saw police
okay.
officers.
I've heard mixed that it was police and
putting-
Antifa in
I-
different locations,
yeah.
but who fucking knows, you know?
Yeah.
What
I've
matters
seen
is that the people that are there to do the protests understand that they're not there to be thrown.
Exactly.
And
Man,
if they're
I
not
saw,
thrown, fuck them.
you see
leave the
that
bricks
Becky bitch that fucking walked up to her BMW. Her and her boyfriend walked up to her BMW with a bunch of stolen goods and put them into the back of their vehicle. And dude's like, he got her on camera, got her license plate, and then went over to you guys gonna put that back? Oh, we didn't go in there. We didn't go in there.
I didn't go in there.
didn't
What do
go
you
in
do? You
there.
have do you have shit in your car from
Yeah,
this
no,
store?
you just
Yeah, I
go
saw
put
that
it
exact
back.
video.
Yeah, man.
She's like, I didn't go in the store. I was like, that's
Yeah,
not
man.
what I fucking asked.
yeah,
No, dude,
exactly.
we were talking about it earlier. TikTok is exposing so many fucking people too. and
No, it's great,
it's
dude.
killing me.
It
These
really
fucking
is.
white girls walking up. Hey, can I borrow your drill? And will you help me like hold this board up and I'll pretend to drill it so my boyfriend can take a picture? And like
That
people
too.
videotape them doing it and then they walk
Yeah.
away, get in their car, and then leave. Oh,
Yeah,
I did
dude.
my protesting for the day.
Humanitarians, quote, humanitarians, and then
Fucking get smacked, all
It's
you dumb
disgusting.
bitches. If you do that shit, fuck out of here.
Instagram
Get
bitches,
fucked.
they'll put on like a nice dress with a gas mask, and then they'll stand in front of some graffiti and take pictures and
Fucking tear gas
and
that
there'll be
bitch.
like 7 of
Get
them
all over her skin,
of her
please.
at the protest with nice filters on, so it looks kind of ominous, like she's out there protesting too, and this is her style. And
All for the gram.
yeah, people taking advantage of the situation, which is unfortunate. Okay, another thing that you're not hearing about is what was his name? Oh man, I don't even remember.
Are you talking
his
about
name.
the cop that in Oklahoma?
that got shot?
Oh no, I'm talking about the cop who was out there a day before and was told that he needed to start shooting people and he wouldn't do it. And they didn't reprimand him or anything. And then the next day he had an off day and he was like, hey, I'm coming down there. And they were like, why? He goes, I want to stand with my people.
Oh, I
He's a
saw
black
that.
cop.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I want to stand with my people. And they were like, no. And he goes, I want to speak to my
idea.
chief. And they said, what about? And he's like, I don't need to fucking tell you that. Give me my chief. I want to talk to my chief. And blah, blah, blah. And they just said no. And then the chief finally said, okay, what?
Damn.
After that, he goes, all right, well, here's my gun and my badge. Fuck you. And was out there with
Nice.
all his people, dude. All these
Very
people
nice.
were out there just like, that shit blows my mind. And that's, I don't know, that brings me to a point of shit that I don't really want to get into because I'm very weird about it. I'm very ACAB. I think all cops are bastards. And I used to not feel that way, and I still kind of don't. It's just fucking, I feel fucking weird about it. But if you're still a cop and you don't put down your riot gear and you don't show that solidarity, or you do that and then you fucking start tear gassing innocent people,
You're not here for the people.
you're not
You're a
here
bastard.
for that shit, and you're a bastard. And if you don't do anything about those people and you're a cop, you're uniformed with them, you are just as fucking bad. If you want to treat all black people like they're all gangsters and thugs, and you want to say no matter what, even though that's your brother and you were trying to stop him from robbing that grocery store, regardless if he says that and regardless if you say that, you're guilty by association now and you're going to be in the system for the rest of your fucking life. Why cops aren't treated that way is a fucking shame.
Yeah.
And that's why I stand on the lines of ACAB, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's this what was his name? Richard Richard Doan? I don't know. He's
Dong Don?
No, I don't know his name. I forget
Emma
it, dude.
Doan?
I should have written it down.
You should.
And so
I actually have a
he-
pad right here that's completely blank that I was going to write things down on, and I just been going off the dome.
Yeah. Anyway, he got a transfer. He's a police officer. He got a transfer, and he went to his buddy's store to help prevent people from looting it. And he got shot in the chest over a television, dude. He tried to stop a guy walking out with a television, and he got shot in the chest.
Are you talking about the cop?
Yeah. The
Oh,
cop.
yeah. It was
He
a black cop, too, right?
Black cop, yeah.
Yeah, I did hear about that, actually.
Yeah, dude, that's messed up. You know, he's just trying to help his friend, and it's obviously a small business. You know, if it was a big business, it wouldn't have been it's like it's some shop, some hole in the wall shop on the corner somewhere.
Yeah.
And I watched that video, dude. And it's terrible. Over a television took his life. Then so you know, when you see stuff like that, I don't even know the name of the Sublime song, you know. It's about these fucked up situation and these fucked up beliefs. It's about coming up and staying on top. That you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I do, but I don't know. I haven't been
man.
super into Sublime as of late.
You know, aside political extremists aside, there are a lot of people that are hurting right now, man, and they need to come up, and they're gonna go out there.
Dude, there's a lot of people hurting. I mean, this time that we're in right now with coronavirus and all this other shit.
Yeah, life's not real. This isn't real, dude.
It's a fucking Black Mirror episode.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
insane.
No,
I see so many people posting like, so December is the final boss. What do you guys think it's gonna be? I had somebody that was like, it's gonna be a volcano that erupts with all these alien subspecies that have been waiting. Yeah. Like
Dude,
waiting 20 years to come and eat all of us, and then we all fucking die. And I was
Shut
like,
the fuck up, man. Don't put that out in the ether, dude. Don't put that out in the ether, man. That shit, it's gonna happen now.
It's gonna happen now. Yep.
No.
Oh my gosh.
On a serious note, though, there was also another kid here in Austin. That night, I believe it was Sunday night. He was protesting, and they were standing there innocently, and then of course someone tried to get involved, who was either Antifa, extreme left, or paid to be there, or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. They were there for the wrong reason. And what originally went out is that this kid was shot in the back of the head with a rubber bullet and fell to the ground, and people rushed around him, all the medics that were there. Of course, they're not like licensed medics, or some of them are EMTs or paramedics who are off duty, who are there to like support the people who are getting
a lot of them were. There were a lot of those there at all the protests.
They surrounded this kid, dude, 20-year-old kid. They surround him, and they see that he's not conscious, he's not moving, and he's just bleeding profusely out of the back of his head.
Right.
And so they're like, okay, and they like grab him, and like there's like 3 white dudes that are huge, a couple of like people of color that are carrying him, and they're like, they yell to the cops, and they communicate with the cops, and they're like, we need help, and they have medics standing by inside the police station for shit like this.
Yeah.
And so then they start carrying this kid's body towards the police, and when they get probably 30 feet away, they open fire on all the people carrying the kid.
Oh yeah. Like, I heard they were opening fire on.
Dude, it's fucking
on
nuts.
medics.
The official report that's being reported on whatever news fucking site, could be real, could not, was that someone threw a water bottle.
Yeah.
Not even that kid.
Was that a firework?
No, it's supposed to be a water bottle, is what was officially out there. And they threw a water bottle, and they were standing next to him, and they tried to shoot at him, but they shot the kid instead. And he fell over and apparently hit his head. And that's why it was bleeding. Now, I don't know what to believe there.
Yes.
I don't think the actual shot being fired was caught,
Yeah, no.
but him laying down and like bleeding and then being carried, and then them opening up again, opening fire on him again. But additionally to that report is that another person, while they were carrying the body, was walking next to them or close to them and threw another water bottle. And so they fired on all of them.
Damn.
And it's like, you're wearing full riot gear.
Right.
First off, if that shit's true, you're a fucking pussy and you should put your badge down.
Absolutely.
Like,
that's
it's insane, dude.
Yeah, one thing I don't understand is so you see it a lot, and I don't think people that fly it truly understand what it means. You see the thin blue line over the American flag.
Yeah.
So the thin blue line is a representation of the brotherhood within the police force, and they ride or die with each other. That's essentially the slogan, and I hate to actually use
it's like
that slogan.
Like a clan, right?
It's a cult within the force, and they will.
You can call it a clan. It's fine.
And they will. Oh, okay, yeah. It is. It's a clan within the force. So and people don't realize it, but when you fly the thin blue line, you are honestly saying okay to police brutality. You're saying it's okay for the police to go behind the back of the law to save their own ass. That is what that represents. And people are just back the blue. they think that they're just supporting police officers, but they don't realize what they're supporting. Nobody really knows what that means. There's a whole fucking TV series named after it. You know what I mean? Thin Blue Line. And that's all it was. It's about corrupt officers.
Speaking of the Klan or whatever, that reminds me of while we were at the protest the other night, there was a group of not like extreme, but like alternative white people were there.
No.
And and like we're standing off to the side, and we're not standing like in front of people because people were actually talking to the cops that night. It was actually kind of crazy because the night before they were all getting tear gassed and shot with rubber bullets and bean bags, but then that night the cops were actually talking to people, and like each cop that was lined up on the outside of APD, there was one or two people standing in front of them just staring at them and talking to them and pleading with them, and they're actually having full conversations. It was kind of amazing to see that difference in a day.
In a day.
It could be bullshit. It could be bullshit, you know?
Yeah,
they could tomorrow.
It could be.
They could tomorrow during the hearings. We're going to some hearings tomorrow for testimonies and shit about APD and like what needs to be done. And there's going to be a protest, and I will be there. And it could be a different story, you know?
Yeah.
And
but you do see that though. You do. I said this earlier. You're seeing some good out of this.
Yeah.
You see an officer wrongfully push a protester and start to wail on him. I think he was wailing on him, and then this lady cop pushed that mofo off and chased him away, shaming him for.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, it was. You see a man on the ground with an officer and his two officers on. Yeah, and the other officer
pulls his knee off.
Pulls that knee away, man. Like, and that is going to start happening. You know, whenever this first happened, and the
accountability, dude.
Protests and stuff. I'm like, it's nihilistic mindset. It's like, this is pointless. It doesn't even matter. Like, anything's gonna change. We're all slaves to the system, and this is how life is. You know what I mean? And then you see stuff like that, and it just really, you know, it's that silver lining. Those things you really have to look at, and change is possible. I really think it is. It's good it's pretty cool that you're going to the hearings like that, dude. To the state building,
dude. I have to. Like, I'm gonna finish that statement, and then I'll tell you why I have to be at things like this. Yeah, it's something I feel strongly about. But so these fucking alternative white kids that were there protesting started playing Rage Against the Machine.
Killing in the name of.
Killing in the name of.
Okay.
And like, we're standing there in front of a bunch of cops, and there's just like a group of like 5 white people, and one of them was like this tiny white girl who was like grooving. She's like dancing to
her hands like this.
Some of those bird crosses. And like, it was the cringiest shit I've ever seen in my life, and all the black people around them were just like, "What the fuck?"
They were screaming that song.
They were yelling it, dude.
That's
and
funny. Were they
like at first I was like, honestly,
that's a great fucking song for this.
Yeah.
But come on,
right
if you're there for solidarity, you're there for anything else. Fuck, play some Ice Cube, dude.
Yeah.
Like, appease the culture. Don't fucking hijack the movement, you know?
Yeah, don't be screaming it, making it about you.
Yeah, don't be the center
of attention.
Don't be so fucking white, please.
Oh, and they also played Let It Be.
Oh, yeah.
While we were at the Capitol.
Yeah, somebody started singing, and like everybody started singing that song, and it's actually a song I don't fucking remember the name of, or I couldn't even sing it because I don't know all the lyrics.
I don't remember what song it was.
But it was awesome. It was literally
it was a different song.
No, it was everybody singing.
The front of the protest where everyone was talking, they started singing a song all together. I don't remember what song it was. But then later, people in the back, the way back, on a speaker or something, started playing Let It Be.
And it was so cringy. Dude.
So white.
That's funny.
But, okay.
White people are cringy, though. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They are.
We are.
It's, surprisingly, they didn't put TikTok together, honestly, but they're what makes it cringy, that's for sure.
Yeah. But so this is kind of the other epiphany I had earlier this week, as you already know, because I told you. I mean, this month and the past like month have been like kind of weird for me. I've had up till Monday, I've had 4 deaths that were semi-close to me, or at least in a proximity of me. I had one of my friends who I used to go to shows with, who, like, the brotherhood that I have right now with Dar and a bunch of my other friends who are Black, Puerto Rican, like, Asian, everybody. It was like a fucking family. We lost one of our friends to a motorcycle accident last month. And then literally my mom lost basically my great-grandfather, the guy who lived across the street from her when she moved to Florida, who basically left his house to her and all this shit because he never had kids, you know? So then he died in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, wow.
And then 2 days later, Doc dies in an accident. And it's like, fuck, what else? And then Monday, right before I'm leaving to go to the protests, my mom calls. She's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, I'm about to leave to go to the protest. And she's like, oh, God. She's like, well, just be prepared. Apparently, Grammy passed away.
Oh,
and
you just found out when you told me, didn't you?
I had just found out, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I sat there for a second, and I realized, like, okay, I've had 4 deaths that were close to me. Now, Grammy is the sweetest old lady. It kind of freaked me out because every time I'd come see her, this is Glenn's grandmother, who is my stepdad, basically. She always treated me so nice. And I know I'm fucking alternative, especially compared to everyone else in my family. Even to her own grandson. He looks like P.E.E.N, but I still look like an extremist compared to him, you know?
Yeah.
But she would always, like, she was hunched over and she would kiss me and she'd, like, hug me super fucking hard, like squeezing as hard as she could, and I could breathe and her arms would break, you know? She's just an old, frail lady. And when she kissed me, she would kiss me on my earlobe, my plug. Because she couldn't get higher and she couldn't get to my cheek fast enough. Right. So she would end up kissing my ear. And I always thought it was funny. And I'm gonna miss it. But I didn't shed a tear for Grammy. I didn't shed a tear for Doc. I didn't shed a tear for my friend Taylor. I didn't shed a tear for Papa. And it's not because I wasn't sad. But it's because there's so much other shit going on in the world that I didn't have time to, like, sit there and, like, get in my feelings about it, you know?
Yeah.
But also I wasn't super close with any of them. And then in that same sentence that I'm talking to my mom about Grammy passing, she's crying. I'm fine. I understand that this sucks, and I understand. But then I had a realization as I'm telling her where I'm about to go that could potentially be dangerous, not only for me, but for people who are just trying to be there to be heard, you know?
Heard and or to support.
That choked me up.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fact that my great-grandmother just passed away earlier that morning, and I just found out. It's the fact that people like Chris, will he be able to grow as old as Grammy? Will he be able to have grandparents or grandkids? He has grandparents.
Yeah.
Will he be able to get that old one day? Like, that's not fair. My friend Brandon, that I grew up with in New Orleans, he lived across the street from me. Every day he was at my house, or I was at his house. And we were fucking around. His brother was crazy as shit. His little brother, we used to always call him a bald head skittle diddle, because he had this scar in the middle of his forehead, and he was always bald. That was like the shape of an S. And we used to always fuck with him. And I mean, this kid was crazy. He was riding his bike one day and just decided that he was going to stick his fingers inside the gears of his bicycle, and it cut his middle finger off. And he was just walking around with no middle finger. He was like, well, I should probably get this taken care of. He killed a hamster just because it bit him, so he squeezed it and then threw it against the wall. He's fucking crazy. Wow. We fucked with him all day. That's my brother, though.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with him, and all this shit that's been going on, I've been thinking about all these people in my life that I either don't see as much as I should, or I don't check in on. And I don't have to worry if I'm going to get shot coming home from work. I don't have to worry if... I mean, I've had some bullshit happen to me before, you know? That whole story there where we got raided. We got raided, and I didn't get anything. They threatened me with planting drugs on me if I was found at a third raid. Yeah. If that was Chris, maybe he would have died that night.
Definitely would have been arrested.
He would have 100% been arrested. They wouldn't have assumed, oh, this white boy. This is before I had all my crazy plugs and piercings and tattoos and shit.
Right.
This is when I looked like a fucking Aeropostale model, babe.
No,
bitch, you know I did. I looked
good. He looked like a criminal. He did. No,
But
wait, no,
but
he
still
didn't.
though.
No,
Yeah, this
he
is
didn't.
before that, dude.
Yeah, no.
And
he looked okay.
They came up as we were leaving, and they assumed that we were leaving.
No, we even
If
told him.
it was my buddy Brandon, if it was my buddy Chris, if it was any black people in that car, they would have been arrested on the spot, or worse. And that's something that I could never stand behind. I know I'm privileged, and I know that my skin color affects the way people look at me, and that's why I think I'm okay with people pulling their kids away from me when they're walking down the street next to me. I look intimidating sometimes.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it because of the skin color that I change on my own by getting tattoos. It's not the same for me, and it never will be. It's not something that I'll ever understand.
It's something that you had control over. Yeah.
It's something that I still have control over.
Well, yeah.
I have a lot of tattoos, and I got to choose every single color that got put in.
So on, let's see, what was I? Okay, so bear with me here, because I woke up this morning and
Feeling like P. Diddy?
No. So I woke up this morning and I felt, I don't know, I had thoughts, a thought of white privilege. And so you'll hear the argument of institutional racism and how the system is pinned against black people mostly. We'll just say that. And but then you'll hear people like Ben Shapiro talk about it and say, point to one piece of legislation that favors black people over white people. You know what I mean? And this was all within a moment of me waking up, which is crazy. And so I realized it's a cultural thing for white people. So like you look at a misbehaving child and they don't, to let's say a rich family, they don't know how good they have it, right? They don't understand how good that they have it. And there's nothing in the books that says that that's the way things are, things have to be. It's just how it is. So you can't deny white privilege. What am I trying to say? I usually see everybody as equal. So when you say that I'm privileged as you, I'm like, man, dude, my life sucks, dude. Like, how am I more privileged than the next man next to me? And that's because I see us as equals. But it's a cultural thing. We're not in that. We don't see it because we're not in it. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I'm trying to say.
That does make
it's
sense,
kind of
yeah.
like the opposite end. Like you're saying it the reverse way that I would put it.
Are you?
We don't see it because we are it.
There you go. And that's
rather
what I was trying to say
than
with
we
the
don't see it
spoiled
because we're not
child.
in it. We can be in it. I grew up going to the 9th Ward in New Orleans, where I was a minority, and I remember not thinking anything of it. I was treated the same as everyone there, and everyone there I treated the same way. There was never any weird thing about race. Race was not even a word I heard of really until I came to Texas, dude. Like when I lived in New Orleans, going down the street at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning at 15 years old with my mom, walking down Canal Street in the housing divisions where predominantly black owned houses, old Victorian houses, and like just a bunch of Creole motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? And we're walking down the street and they're like, hey, white boy. I didn't think anything of it. I turned around, I was like, what's up? They're like, is that your mom? I was like, yeah. And they're like, y'all come through. And they just invite us up off of the fucking street.
That's funny.
To come and have hurricanes, eat crawfish, and all this other shit. And it's like, when I moved to Texas, dude, I did some gang ministry when I was in Dallas. And all of my white friends were like, you cannot go to Oak Cliff. I was like, why? They're like, there's a lot of gangs there. I was like, that's why I'm going there to do like gang ministry shit. Like to talk to these kids who are underprivileged and undereducated and who are stuck in a fucking rut. Almost all the kids that I talked to while I was there had ankle bracelets on, had priors, had been convicted of pretty bad crimes. But they were there and they were trying to do something, and some of them were forced to be there. But regardless, I was able to talk to them, and like, I can't give them the experience. I can't give them an experience, really. All of them have gone through shit that I've never gone through, you know?
Yeah.
But I've been around that kind of shit before, and I'm passionate about it, and I want to help in any way that I can. So I do it. And I'm not scared if it turns out that I can't walk in Oak Cliff after 6 p.m. because I might get shot because I'm white. That's for me to decide, and it shouldn't be that I should be scared because they're black, because they might shoot me.
That thought never even crossed my mind before. I've rubbed elbows with a bunch of shady characters. I'm not talking
That's
about
because you're a
skin
juggalo.
color either. I'm talking about criminals.
I know, I'm kidding.
And I've been through Oak Cliff, and I heard the same shit, and I was like,
It's
like,
just looking back at it, I feel like all those people are just racists.
What,
You're like,
people
don't go-
that are like,
don't go down there.
go over there. Yeah, maybe. They're just afraid. They're fearful, ignorance.
And not even the active, like, openly racist. I'm talking about the racist that's like, they're black, so you might want to watch out. Like, I'd say there's a difference between the ones that are like, you get out of here, you're not welcome here, or the people that are like, I am kind of scared of you. And I feel like a lot of those people just don't have any experiences with people of color at all, or the ones that they have had are very limited to
or
a bad interaction or stories they've heard.
What black culture has been, what it has been perceived as by them, what has been shown to them throughout the years, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like,
on
all right,
Hollywood. Yeah, exactly.
Stop watching Love and Hip Hop and fucking go out into the world.
What was that movie about the Black Klansman? You know, not the Black Klansman.
It's called Black Klansman. I'm pretty sure.
No, I think that's
where the guy
movie.
Infiltrates.
Yeah, but he pretends to be a white boy over the phone, and he's talking to David Duke and stuff, and tricks him into thinking.
Thank you for calling. Or
no, what the fuck? Oh, I hate life right now.
I'm pretty sure it's thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling, or something like that.
He's like a sales guy.
So
and he changes his voice to be like a super white guy sounding voice.
And he's actually a cop, yeah. And so.
Oh no, you're talking about Black Klansman.
What?
You are. You're talking about Black Klansman.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. He's a cop, and anyway, he's speaking to the protagonist is speaking to one of the co-stars who's an activist, and when she started talking about how she was upset that Hollywood is portraying black culture or portraying the culture wrong and projecting this image that didn't fit that didn't actually fit their culture, and she was getting upset about that. I really felt that, because I do see that, and what it does is it makes people afraid, and it gives this preconceived idea that because of your skin color you must be into this, or because you look a certain way you must be into this. So that's it is a cultural issue in that manner,
race
for sure.
Race was never even a thing until the Spanish Inquisition.
Was it? Are you sure about that?
Race was never a thing until the Spanish Inquisition. And you know why? Because what they were doing is they were going around and they were killing anybody who was not part of their religion. And then they noticed that it was hard for them to tell who was part of their religion and who wasn't. So they tried to find an easier way to pin down people who likely would be and likely would not be part of the religion.
Started dividing us up like that.
And divided
Spanish
people
Inquisition.
up by
there
color.
You go. There you go. That's a good example of.
Dude, there's over I think it's 2,500 shades of melanin skin tones in the world today.
Yeah.
And in the next probably 30, 40 years, white people, pure white people who don't really exist anymore, like, that's not going to be a thing anymore. White people will be a minority.
I'm super white. Actually, I've got I think I've got the Genghis Khan gene in me. So
probably your forehead is kind of huge.
Yeah. No, I got like 0.1% Asian. I did the DNA thing, so
The 23andMe.
yeah, but it's like 0.1%, so it's got to be that little genetic trace. You know what I mean? It's everything else is super white. Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind making some mulatto babies. Honestly, I actually saw a projection of what the human race is going to look like in 30 years, and they're all dark skin with yellow eyes on it. That's what they showed anyway.
Eyes?
Yellow eyes, yeah.
What kind of alien
I don't know,
conspiracy
man.
shit are you watching?
Well, I mean,
I forget what
people
Yellow
didn't
seems
always
like a
have
weird
blue
eye
eyes,
color.
right?
No, blue eyes is from inbreeding.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I'm not surprised.
Fuck you.
Blue eyes.
Hey, I've got blue eyes, bitch. Do you
I don't
think
have
I
blue
want to
eyes.
admit that?
I'm fucking inbred.
Yeah, but brown
shit.
eyes come from being full of shit.
I don't have brown eyes.
I know. I hate it.
With their hazel. There's
They're-
green there too.
No, they're not brown.
I know the color of her eyes, and you don't. What?
Bitch, you know shit.
Thank you, Aaron.
You're
Call me
so
brown eyes.
insensitive.
Brown eyes.
Now, let's get back on track here. Oh, one thing I disagree about. I don't know if it's the protesters or the rioters, but stopping traffic is a bad idea. You don't stop
I think
traffic.
stopping traffic is the only way people are gonna see it. You know, grab their
That's
attention.
good
You can't
point.
just go protest in a park. It doesn't do
good
anything.
point. No, good point. I mean,
Think
you're
about
definitely
this.
gonna grab attention for that. I just think that, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they can hit the gas and hit you and get away
Oh no,
with it.
100% that's
It's
happened, and it
not
happened.
legal,
It happened
but-
recently.
The cops have done it.
No, the fucking guy with the
hell
semi.
yeah, the cops
Oh
have
yeah,
done it.
the semi guy.
He ran over 1,200
It wasn't
people.
a semi. It was just like a truck with a big.
It was
Oh,
a tanker.
it was a
It was
tanker.
a tractor trailer tanker.
Yeah, that dude can't slam on the brakes. He can't.
No,
he's not
he
able
can't,
to slam
but
on the brakes.
still,
That
the
would've-
roads are blocked off whenever that
Well,
shit
the
happens.
video I saw
Well,
was
He was already in.
Yeah, he was
He
already
was
in.
not
They blocked
driving
it off.
fast.
Well, I saw a camera from up top. All the other cars were kind of stopping, and he was going fast. There's like when he realized it, and you see him hit on the brakes, like he can't slam the brakes. His tanker would turn, and he would have.
I'm thinking of a
mowed over
different video.
That entire.
He would have taken the whole
that
road
entire
out.
bridge. Yeah. So when you're in a tanker, you can't slam on the brakes because the liquid pushes forward and then comes back. So that guy
that's
was
different.
in a bad situation. Like maybe he wasn't paying attention. You know, like you said, how is he supposed to know? He's a trucker. How is he supposed to know that the protests are going on? People are in the road, and he sees them and he tries to stop. Like, what's going on? He can't just slam on his brakes. He'd take them all out. And what's worse is, people just pulled him out of his truck. Man, started beating on him. Like,
Dude,
what if
honestly,
it
he didn't
wasn't
get
his
fucked up
fault?
nearly as bad as half the protesters did.
Oh, he
Who were
didn't get.
standing
Oh,
peaceful.
true. He didn't
And-
fucked up
and
like
honestly,
that dude that pulled
from what
that
I
bow
saw-
and arrow out on fucking
Dude, yeah,
protesters.
that dude deserved it. I would have fucking shoved that bow right up that dude's
I saw
ass.
that. I was like, old man, why are you doing this?
You saw
There-
what he said after on the.
No, I didn't.
in the
He's
news?
like, should have been
No.
a gun or something.
He was
right?
he looked all beat up. You know, he was
Oh, I
talking to
saw
the
how he
press, and he
looked
was
after.
like, yes, it was two African American men, and they beat me up because I yelled "All Lives Matter" out of my window.
Nah.
Is what he said.
Fucking old
On the
racist
news.
prick deserved to die that day.
Fuck that guy.
I don't know what happened. I think that they just stopped traffic, and he got out pissed and started yelling and screaming. And the video that we saw was he was already out of his vehicle with the fucking bow and arrow in his hand, and he's
I saw the
sitting there
video of
trying to
him,
notch
him
it.
getting it out of his car.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
out there yelling at them to get out of the road, and he was probably using racial slurs and whatever he wants to, because that's obviously the kind of person he is.
I think that if he was using racial slurs, the violence would happen sooner. Honestly,
Nah,
yeah.
No.
I'm sorry. If he would have dropped the N-bomb in that crowd, he would have been run up on. Honestly,
I don't think so.
I think so. You
I don't
don't
think so.
It
because
took
he
him a
wasn't-
while to run
dude.
up on him when he was pointing a bow and arrow at people, so I'm not really sure.
They were standing there in solidarity. A couple of them maybe would have broken off to go beat someone's ass, but that's not why they were there. They weren't there to start shit. They don't care what he has to say.
No. I mean, like, if they had heard him yell that,
Maybe they didn't
He
hear it,
would
but
have got. Maybe
He's
they
definitely
didn't.
that kind of person.
This
Regardless,
is all what
It had to have been
conjecture.
premeditated. Who just carries around a bow and arrow in there?
I don't know.
I mean, he could have been going turkey hunting.
I feel
in the middle of the
like I
city.
saw
You don't
something that said he
carry,
had more weapons, but who knows?
You don't carry a bow and arrow in your car.
I might.
No, so
you
I'll
should,
disagree
in
with
case
you
a racist
wholeheartedly
break glass.
on. I'll disagree with you wholeheartedly on the blocking traffic. I know that
Yeah.
it's probably
Oh,
one of the
man.
more dangerous ways to
Oh,
protest.
dude, I just don't do it, man. Don't do it. People, I've seen too many people
I
get
haven't
hit,
done it, and I don't
now
know if
that
I would.
I wouldn't.
But the reason I disagree is because, just like Megan was saying, some people don't know. Also, the people that do know and are just going about their fucking day like it's nothing, when people are dying out there and protesters are being fucked up for no reason, those are the people who are also a problem.
It should
If they're sitting there complicit, I understand people have jobs. I do my work. You know how easy it is for me to just sit at home, play video games,
I do it, dude.
and do that shit?
I do it.
But no,
I literally
I haven't
do nothing
streamed
the whole
since
day.
this shit started happening because
Yeah.
I'm researching shit. I'm looking at stuff. I'm trying to be active. I'm trying to not prove a point, but just to support the people that I care about, and even the people that I don't know that I love. And the people that go about their day who blacked out their Facebook images and posted one caption, and then 5 seconds later are asking you what color hair dye they should get, or where you go to get your lunch, or any of this other shit, and go about their day like, oh, I did my piece. Those are people that are fucked and wrong as well.
That's the worst one, you know.
Exactly. And I feel
Trying
that
to
if
be
you
a part of it when you're not.
if you stop a fucking highway, you stop people from getting to their jobs, not only are they going to see it, they're going to be motivated. They're like, you know what? They're so not all people are going to see it that way. Of course, a lot of people are going to be like,
People
"Dude,
are
get the
just
fuck
gonna
out of the
piss,
road, or I'm
man.
going to run you over."
Road
Like,
rage,
Should
dude.
I have
feel some
somewhere to go.
inconvenience. They
The
should
car, you know,
They
okay,
should feel
yes.
insignificance.
Maybe
exactly.
if they could slow it down and then slowly let cars go by, you know, like
No,
like-
so I think the big thing is that a lot of the time when that starts to happen, the police do block it off. So it's just the ones that get in there past the cops already who are a problem. But you know what? You got caught in some shit that you didn't want to be part of. And guess what? None of the black people that have been killed in the last 25 years needed to have that happen to them either.
Absolutely.
But you know what? You get to go home to your fucking king-size Tempur-Pedic bed tonight, and then wake up in the morning and go back to your fucking shitty-ass job and bitch that you saw some lady talking shit to a cashier. Like, fuck you for being complacent.
well, some
So that's what I mean by I disagree with you.
Well,
I think that
I
those
know-
are
I
the
know
most
what you're
dangerous way to
saying.
protest.
It is, dude.
But
It's
I think
so
that they're
dangerous.
necessary.
I mean, and if there's saboteurs in there and they instigate something, then glass is gonna get broken. Road rage is the worst, dude. And now you're getting stopped by somebody. And you don't like it when somebody doesn't use their blinker. Yeah, you lose your shit sometimes. You might.
Yeah, I do.
You know, exactly. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, that's your time. You're by yourself. You're alone. You're unwinding. And then here's a wall of people. And you just want to get home because you're done for the day. And so automatically you're angry. And then you have these heated up protesters. And it takes one saboteur to get that guy pulled out of his vehicle and slapped on or get his glass broken. You know what I mean? Sure, there might be, and it's, you know, a handful of cars, sure, that have been stopped, and a handful of cars that actually had glass broken only because they tried to speed past the protesters like idiots. You've seen the videos. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, I've seen videos of
You don't fucking do that.
a white girl being like, I was just trying to cut through. Let me just get by. And they're like, no,
Yeah.
fuck you, go around. And it's like, are you that? Do you think that everyone else is that insignificant that you can cut through a
Nah.
downtown protest?
I would have.
Like, I would have fucking pulled that bitch out of her car and yanked her hair off of her head so that I finally don't look like this.
I would have.
Because you know what? I could dye that hair into any color I want.
I'd help
It
you
looks
move
sick.
it on.
Hell yeah.
Oh, gross. Track it on.
No, like, I think it has to be done.
I see
And
what
I
you're
think that
saying,
as long as it's
but
done in a smart way,
yeah, honestly,
then fine. Maybe the question is,
This is too
or maybe
dangerous,
the
man.
answer is not that it shouldn't happen. It's that it needs to be coordinated.
Yeah, and that was the first point I brought up to you whenever this all popped off when we brought it up.
Oh yeah. We
I
need to
was
start
like,
an organization to organize everybody.
that's exactly the thing, is that this is it's so dysfunctional and organized, and then you have saboteurs that you really have to worry about, and from the sounds of it, everybody's wise to that, and they're warning each other.
It's weeding itself out.
Yeah, which is a beautiful thing. You didn't see that the last time that this happened, and
4 years ago.
Yeah,
you know,
you didn't see that. You just heard people play the blame game, and that was it. You know, left and right, it's just going back and forth. Oh, so and so did this, so and so did that. Big blanket thrown over protesters and rioters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And life's too three-dimensional for that shit, dude. That's why I'm so in the middle about everything. But
See, I'm not.
I can take a stand on what I believe and what's wrong, but I can't
maybe
throw
I can
a blanket
help
over. I can't throw a blanket over the
maybe
entire
I can
situation. I can't throw a blanket over just an entirety of people. I can't, because when I am face to face with somebody and I have the chance to talk to them and we have a conversation, we can see where we're coming from on other points of view, like the white privilege thing. Yeah, I didn't see it. You know, white privilege. Oh, come on, man. Everybody is equally worthless as the next guy. That's how I see it. Nobody's fucking special. You know what I mean? That was my mindset. And then I woke up this morning and I wasn't even going to sleep thinking about it, you know? And then I just realized it's just a part of white culture to not see it. We don't see it. Yeah. It's that our race hasn't been painted as criminals for 100 years. You know what I mean?
I mean, they have. They just been painted in the right side of the light.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at our history books,
we're the
almost all of that shit is criminal, dude.
We're the chimps with the fucking pen. I don't know. So I heard this guy talk about we got a hold of the history books, and that's how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We write our own histories.
Yeah. History
and
books
we've
are
also
useless.
been put in charge of writing Black people's histories.
Yep.
And so, of course, we're gonna paint ourselves the way that we'd want to be seen. You know.
Yep. Oh, no, it's true.
I've been learning a lot of stuff about.
I went to
things
to
that
George Washington Carver.
Did you hear her?
Yeah, I did. Would you say something? You've been hearing about a lot about stuff. I'm sorry, I cut you off. I'm bad.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. That's all I had to say.
First museum
It's okay.
I went to was the George Washington Carver Museum, and he invented like 100 uses for peanuts. More than that, it's like 1,000, 10,000 different uses for peanuts, and he had the idea to grow peanuts in between cotton crops to replenish the soil, which is a valid idea. He didn't get any validation for any of his inventions, for any of his innovation, because he was black.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a perfect thing. And you got to be careful when you're researching. They call it whitewashing history, right? That's what the historians or the intellectuals call it, whitewashing history. I've seen some pretty crazy photos. Like somebody said James Madison was actually black. The president, James Madison, or was it James Madison? I don't think he was our president, was he?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't name 20 presidents.
Same though.
Like straight up. Like Thomas Jefferson.
See.
Thomas Jefferson was never a president, right?
No, I think he was.
What? Thomas Jefferson? No, Jefferson was a president. James Madison. What the fuck?
No, there's a guy who everybody thinks was a president at one point. Who the fuck is it? I remember when I learned about it, I was like, wait, that dude wasn't a president? He's on a coin, I think.
No, it's Ben Franklin. Oh no. Or was it John Adams? I don't know. A major figure in history, in our history, was actually black.
Look for who wasn't a president that everybody thinks was a president.
No, it's Ben Franklin. He's on the $100 bill. He's not a president.
Benjamin Franklin?
That's Ben Franklin.
Okay, yeah.
Ben Franklin, yeah.
I remember whenever I saw that, I was like, wait, he wasn't?
Yeah. Nah, but there's a lot of, like, you got to take everything with a grain of salt these days, especially
but whenever I heard that, I was like, wait.
Especially when it comes to history. You got to take everything with a grain of salt, especially with history. And I hate that they Where was it? There's some memorial. Was it General Lee Memorial or some?
Virginia?
Was it Virginia?
Virginia, they're actually
finally
tearing it
knocked
down.
They actually knocked it down, man.
No, they're
Yeah.
they're tearing it down. The one in
Oh.
Virginia.
Or,
There might
I
be
mean,
another one in another racist state.
Officially or
Officially,
or do they
like
just
the actual officials. Are
Oh,
taking it
okay. Well, see, people don't understand that. I think it was. I don't know if it was generally. I don't want to say if it was or not because I don't want to be wrong about this. But people are like, "Oh, it's racist," but he actually did a good job at the end of the war to ensure civil liberties for slaves. He was just caught in the South, and that's where he did, and that's where he was. That's where he fought. You know what I mean. But he actually did a good job after all the smoke cleared. For
General
their
Lee, you think?
I don't think it was General Lee, man.
I
That
was saying,
sounds
'cause
wrong.
that's the dude. That's like the
It's
name
like
of the Dukes of Hazzard's
main-
car with the Confederate
Yeah,
flag. on
yeah,
top.
he's the main. That General Lee's the main general. It wasn't him. It
Yeah.
was some other guy. And they're tearing it down because he was in the Confederacy.
Good though,
But
because
I
you know
honestly
what?
don't care,
Regardless
but-
of what history says, same thing with the Confederate flag. Like it represents something now that's different than what it should represent.
It's not even the Confederate flag, the one that they're flying around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not anymore.
Not,
But
well, I mean,
10 years ago, it would have been.
No. They say when somebody says it represents the history of the South, it represents what do they want to say? What are they saying? Like I don't even know. It's their heritage. That's what they say. Oh, it's our heritage. You know, this is where my family came from. They fought in the South, stuff like that. This is a reminder of. It's not even the actual Confederate flag, the one that you see flying around with the X and stars on it. That's not the one that represents the South, that means heritage. Or so I've been told. I've looked up the difference between the two flags a while ago. I just don't know too much about it and don't really care to comment on it. Honestly, just don't do it, man. Come on, seriously, don't do it. Like why? You know, you try to tell people, you try to be or tell people to do anything different, and they just don't want to, and they don't care. Like if that pisses off an entire race of people, and they're rioting in the streets because of shit like that, you know, you think you can just like not do it anymore? Like, okay, you know what?
Half of the world is pissed about this.
Yeah,
Let's not do it.
It's easier to get angry and shit. I'm fucking butchering it. I'm reading this book. It's called 12 Rules to Live By. It's by Jordan Peterson, I think.
Are you gonna reread it after?
I'm actually rereading it again.
Oh God, you should probably reread it.
I'm rereading it because it was in the last chapter, all right? And I'm rereading it, and
Oh, okay. I was like,
essentially,
you're on the last chapter and you already forgot.
I've already began rereading it so I can fucking remember these things, because it's a really good book. So he's talking about him and his wife and how they'd get into arguments, and they had agreed that they would separate from each other and think about the things that they had said and how they had said it, and then rejoin each other in the same room, you know, like for 4 minutes, and then rejoin each other in the same room, and they'd both feel bad about how they acted in that situation, you know. And so I bring this up because that anger of, you know, you having protesters stop your car, right, may be a necessary thing, especially for some people. They have to feel that angry, and they have to act the fool, you know. If you could, because when you do that, it does allow you to change. You get to sleep on it, you get to come back, and you fucking bring cookies to the next protest. Hopefully it was in, you know, that's what they did. They realized that, you know, this isn't it, this isn't right. We got to do something to make up for it.
I really
you know
hope
what
so.
I mean?
Hope so, but you never know.
Well, we'll see, man. We'll see where this goes. When did it all start? It all started on I think it was like
Saturday.
Saturday was
Pretty
the
sure it all
first
started
one.
on Saturday, yeah.
Saturday. It is Wednesday. Do you know if there's things going on tonight about it? Because I'm pretty sure
There
there's
is. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's going to
So-
be for the next 45.
Dude,
Yep.
it's gonna
Has to.
keep going
At
until
least.
he's convicted and thrown in
No,
jail.
It's going past that.
Way past that.
Oh yeah, ooh.
I mean, dude,
It's
the
not
other
even-
the other
it's
three
not-
cops
Damn.
have been like arrested for it now.
I feel like it's
Oh.
not really even about one person.
Yeah, it's
at
not
this
about that.
point. It's not about. It's just about everything. The whole system.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. And it's not just here that's happening. As far as the system goes, we've been seeing it all across the world for the past 2-3 years. We recognize that the people have taken advantage of the system, and that we're the working class, the poor people, that we are going to be left with nothing if this keeps happening. And the Yellow Jacket protests, the Hong Kong protests, there goes our China sponsorship. Everybody's waking up, and everybody sees it. And and I thought it was, like I said, I kind of feel bad, because I was like, man, fucking protests and shit, those idiots, what are they doing? Because all I see is what initially it's what I'm supposed to see about it. And and I'm glad that we didn't do this podcast earlier, because I would have had a hot take on it instead of
Oh yeah.
you
did.
digesting the information. Well, I
You're
did.
like,
Yeah.
we need to organize this shit because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, I did.
And then
Yeah,
like
those
going
my hot
out there,
shit.
it's like, no, they kind of have an idea and they're
Yeah.
trying to stick to it. And it's honestly, it's fucking white people that are coming in and wrecking it.
Well, you can say that, and I've seen the videos.
I do say that, and I know that there's videos of
right.
African American dudes running in and looting places,
Yeah.
whatever. And you know what? I'm fine with looting and rioting. I think
I'm
that
not.
I think that
That's
when it
not
gets to a
cool.
certain point,
Yeah.
when all you've been shown is violence, like
exactly.
any time it's happened here, like the rioting that happened here, like it was after innocent people were sprayed the fuck down, tear
Yeah.
gassed. Like if you show somebody peace and they meet you with violence, they should be met with violence.
The
And
police
if
state
these
is
cops,
exposed,
dude,
man.
if these cops didn't have fucking batons, armor, and all this other shit, and they didn't have the law protecting them, 100% I'd be out there curb stomping fools right now.
Dude, do you
Because
you
I have
guys saw
that much
that
rage built in me.
that 7-foot Optimus Prime motherfucker,
Oh, dude,
right?
that shit,
dude.
dude. See, whenever you, everybody, I've been talking about getting some tactical
Fucking-
equipment
some fucking
to go
riot gear.
because
Yeah.
as my job as a white person who's going to be going to these things is to
My
be a
job.
shield, a human meat shield.
Yeah.
Is what I should be at this.
We need
They
to
don't
keep
need my
our,
voice.
our mouths closed. Exactly. They need to be heard, and we need to be there to show support for whenever we see injustice happen. There has to be more boots on the ground there to maintain the situation as is.
Yeah. And without any protective gear, yes, I feel like I would be more hesitant on stepping in front of, especially facing the police.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Stepping in front of somebody who's holding an AR-15 at me. Or dude, I've been to the Capitol a few times playing Pokemon Go back in the day. And like walking past the front of the Capitol, the cop is just standing there, and there's all races walking through there. Pokemon Go brought a lot of people together too.
Mhm.
You know, I mean,
Thank you.
not like
Thank
this
you,
at all,
Nintendo.
but there was a lot of
Yeah.
people there walking around catching fucking Pikachu, catching all these fucking random ass Pokemon digitally. And this cop is standing there mean mugging me, dude. And I'm trying to fight this gym, and he's flipping his switch from his safety on and off on his AR.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Why would you do that? Like, especially staring at me in an aggressive manner.
Yeah.
And it's like, we marched up there the other night, and I was like, I know I look a certain way. Of course, I was covered for the most part, but I have fat ass earlobes. I have hand tattoos. I'm not going to cover them. Personally, I don't really care if anybody sees me up there. I don't care if they want to come and try to arrest me 2 weeks later, a month later. You know what? Fucking try me. I've got a good friend of mine who's a good fucking lawyer, and I will make sure to pay him whatever is needed to make sure that the person who fucking does that to me goes to jail.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I don't know.
That might be my white privilege. You know? I recognize that. I recognize that I have that power, and I should be using that power not for me, but for the people who don't have that power. And
That's
so
a good point.
the thing that we were talking about a second ago is I was talking about getting some like riot gear basically.
Yeah.
And we were talking about helmets and shit, and he showed me this helmet that looks like a cross between a stormtrooper, Iron Man, and like a fucking
Something
soldier
from
of
Battlestar
Troy.
Galactica, dude.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, personally, it looks fucking sick. But I was like,
yeah, it does.
if I was a foot taller, I would definitely get that, because then I would be just this towering giant,
Right.
like what's her
Optimus
face?
Prime there.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, that guy's badass. You see him later on, in when things are getting dicey, he has these giant. So in the first video of him like getting in the cops' faces, right, and he's towering over them, pointing at them, shaming them, and then you could see on his back he has these giant oven mitts on his back, and later on you can see him picking up the tear gas canisters and throwing them back. Yeah. That's pretty
fucking,
that's pretty
that's
great.
badass.
I don't know if that would, like, throwing the tear gas back at him isn't really gonna help. You see,
You got to
have
put
seen
it
the-
out, I think.
Yeah, have you seen the posts about
Yeah, I know how to do that with
Hong
the
Kong
cone and water and shit.
tactics?
It's also
Yeah.
jugs. You can put them
You
in jugs.
assemble, you disrupt, you disperse, you regroup. Assemble, disrupt, disperse, regroup, and you do it tactically, because when you're marching all together and you get corralled into an area, and then you're kind of in that area, and they try to keep everybody in the same.
No, they
in the
don't. I
same
mean, that's a
area.
tactic of theirs too. Because what happens in those instances is they let a few get by and they fall behind the group. And rather than them have to continually run around different blocks to get around back to the front and get back with the group, most people just branch off and then leave. So
Yeah.
that's like another tactic they try to do.
Actually,
So if you're ahead of
in,
that, then you're good. But
in Dallas, since they instituted a curfew order, they corralled the remaining late night protesters. Like, they push them back and corral them, right?
yeah,
Oh,
and then they
have
arrest
like
them all.
cops blocking them off. Yeah, they're on a bridge. They with all the other cops at the other end of the bridge, and they pushed them across the bridge basically, and then told them all to get down. Like, you're under arrest, all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, there were cops that, I mean, dude, there were cops that had vans full in Fort Worth, vans full of cops, unmarked vans parked everywhere around the red zone that they have there. Then they implemented a curfew like an hour and a half before the curfew was supposed to go into place.
Right.
And then guess what? No one fucking knew because they were out there protesting. And then they're like,
Yep.
yep, curfew's coming down right now. And they fucked a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, that's why you see so many videos of innocent protesters getting messed up, is because
Yep.
now they have their orders to start pushing back. What was that? There's a report of looting going on over across the city. Okay, this is now a riot. You guys know what to do. That's another reason why you see it.
I gotta let my fucking cat in, or else he's just gonna bitch for 30 minutes.
Kind of have to pee, which sucks. But yeah, man,
You're gonna have to hold it, dude.
Get a bottle.
this,
No one can see you.
Just, yeah, tilt your camera for
My
a second.
pants are
Into a
already
bottle.
off, so
Oh, all right.
I have an empty bottle, so.
But so that was something I actually talked to Luciano, my roommate, about a little while ago. Was like, do I get riot gear? Like, because I know that I want to be the person that stands in front and tanks a few rubber bullets if I have to protect someone who's trying to be heard. You know, it's like, do I get that, or is that a problem? Is that the same as me trying to instigate something? If I come there trying to look intimidating, or like try to RoboCop it or something, like, is that what it's gonna look like? Rather than me being an ally, somebody who's there to bolster the voice of them, you know?
I was thinking that as well.
And so I think that going the Hong Kong approach, after talking to Luciana, is the way that I'm probably gonna go, with the yellow hard hat and the face mask and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And because that's a non-threatening thing,
Yeah.
and I think that's the way that it has to be right now.
Yeah,
So-
and bring like umbrellas to stop the bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pass them out and shit.
I mean,
See if
umbrellas are not going to
anybody
stop
else-
those bullets, dude. They're not shooting them properly. They're supposed to shoot them at the ground, and then they bounce up and hit people. They're shooting them directly at people. So that's not going to stop with a fucking
I don't
umbrella.
know, man. You could lace it with something like some plexi something. You know what I mean? Like at least offer some kind of like a net that would catch it instead of a shield that would block it. You know what I mean? Loosen it up a bit, get a thicker material to back it, especially make it. You can't just go buy an umbrella to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There gotta be something you could do.
Yeah.
In that manner. But I think that the Hong Kong approach, seriously, is they've laid it all out, man. It's the non, what am I trying to say? It's the non-aggressive way to let your voice be heard. It would literally affect the most distance, especially if you're going to go shut down a protest in the street, because you if you're all one group walking in one area, then you have that that route or whatever that's going to hear you. But if you have the plan to march up to the line and then disperse and go to another place real quickly or whatever, know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they launched their tear gas, you put it out, right? Instead of sitting there and taking the mace and taking the beatings and going chest to chest with police officers in full riot gear, and now the National Guard too. Instead of that, you do what you can with the tear gas, you put it out, you hold the line, don't get too close to them because you don't want to get arrested for like that. And then you diffuses the situation as best you can as far as their advancements, and then disperse. And there should be another place. There should actually be an app for that, dude.
There is what is it called? It's like an encrypted messaging system that a lot of protesters use.
It would just be a saboteur thing, though. Like
yeah,
they
it could be.
People that or people that aren't about it could get onto it easily and or hear about it and learn about it and just screw everything up. Because the main difference between Hong Kong and America is that they're united as fuck, man. The people that don't want any of it aren't around, and I don't even know. Maybe there were saboteurs, but I don't think that that's true.
No, they weren't. There weren't, because this might come out wrong, but it's not a race thing there for them. Like right now, this is a race thing for a lot of people, or for the people who don't get involved in stuff, and the people who are looting, they think it's a race thing.
Yeah.
And at the utmost, it's a police brutality thing, and it's the system against people of color.
Class.
So they're not going to solve it by not being racist. It's not about being not racist anymore. It's about being overly anti-racist, and it's about police brutality stopping.
That's a good point. There's got to be accountability.
They don't have that. They don't have that there. They're all one people,
right?
And they all want the same thing. And dude, I had to. My mom still hasn't even talked to me, or Glenn. I don't know which one it was. But so, of course, the other night she's like crying and talking to me about Grammy, and then I told her about the protests, and she starts kind of freaking out. She's like, "Be safe, be safe, be safe." And all I told her, I was like, "Look, I'm white. That's why I have to go." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I don't have to worry about getting in trouble, or I don't have to worry about getting shot with a bullet." I was like, "I'm gonna be there to protect the people that do have to worry about that."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm proud of you." And I was like, "Good. Thanks." Like, what the fuck do you say to that? You raised me well.
Yeah, you raised me well, mother.
And it's like, the next fucking day, I see either her or Glenn posting on Facebook, probably something that one of their friends posted, and they just reposted it. And it was of the Hong Kong police spraying protesters with blue dye.
Yeah.
And it was like, haha. And I just commented on it. And I've never really called my mom out this hard before, or Glenn out this hard before. But I was like, what the fuck is this? How do you go from the night before being like, I'm proud of you for standing up for what's right and protesting? Even though it's dangerous, she's already had 2 very close deaths to her, and she doesn't want me to be that third, because you know how they say deaths come in threes? She's freaking out about that, and then the next day, it's posted that they're spraying people who are protesting with blue so they could be arrested weeks later. And it's how do you think
today?
that's a funny thing?
They said that today, or was that just the post? Did I miss something?
No, that's what in Hong Kong it was.
Oh,
yesterday,
right, in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, that's what they were doing.
Wait, that was yesterday that it was happening?
That's whenever I saw the post from my mom.
Okay, yeah, because I
feel like they did that before.
I knew that from a while ago.
Yeah, but she shared it or he shared it and had a haha message with it, and I was blown away. I was like, how the fuck it? Like,
it's because
make
it's
some
you.
sense, please. Yeah. And it's like,
I wonder if they're gonna start doing that here, especially if it lasts as long as you think. Because when you look at it and you see all these people getting together across the world, and all the protests have lasted for quite some time. I mean, it was like the shortest protest was maybe like 2 weeks strong, I think, was a yellow vest protest maybe in France, something like that, before they shut everything down real quick. Yeah.
I think that's actually crazy. Like, first episode of our podcast was about the people that I met in Ireland and the trip there. And dude, those same people who have had their own struggles and their own dealings with their country, not just with their police, but with their whole country, they're standing and they're avoiding COVID repercussions, you know?
Yeah.
And they're standing out there and they're rioting and they are fucking protesting and spray painting their walls saying justice for George Floyd.
Oh, yeah?
In Ireland, dude. Same thing is going on
crazy,
in the UK.
dude.
Masses of people are gathering saying justice for George Floyd. The fighting in America needs to stop. The police brutality in America needs to stop. And other countries are seeing that. And they're seeing the fuel that Trump is putting into people's hearts. They're making them push back on people that need this progress. And this is something that everybody needs, you know?
Yeah. Maybe it
fucking blows my mind, dude. Like, when I met those guys, I didn't think that they would be invested in what's happening in America, you know? I just thought that they were cool people and good friends to have made. Who have gone through some shit with the IRA and with their country, and they're just as invested in us. And like the guy whose house that I left my keys at.
Yeah.
His post was, "We stand with you, America. You guys were there for us. We are there for you." And it's like, I don't remember seeing a single fucking thing in America about the shit that was happening in Ireland. I don't remember it. It probably happened in places. But Austin, I don't think was a part of it.
Nah, man, our heads are too far up our asses here in America.
Absolutely.
We're so distracted.
It blows my mind
dude.
that we are so up our own asses.
Yeah, we're so distracted, and we're looking down in front of us. And this is, I don't know what the deal is. We get so overwhelmed with all the nonsense, and like the family unit especially has been destroyed, and then we get overwhelmed with everything. And we finally come to this realization that, okay, I'm just going to look at what's in front of me and focus on it and try to move forward with my life. But while we're looking down, working on our broken selves, there's a lot of stuff that's going on around us that we don't pick up on. Like, for not even like anything important like music, dude. I hadn't listened to like new music from 2008 to 2016. I don't listen to any new music. And then I don't know, 2016, I heard a song. I was like, wow, man, dude, this song's awesome.
This great new song. And it was already 3 years old.
Yeah, it turns out it was a 2011 song. I was like, what the fuck, man? And then I started
get
looking
up on
more
that.
music.
I got some fucking music for you. Nah,
I
will never say TikTok's music
a
is something you
small
should listen to.
example.
Some of it is.
Some of them are good. Like
I wouldn't say all of it.
Like you showed me the full song for Willow.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah, and like
Sick.
first off, did not know that was Will Smith's daughter.
Yeah.
Sick.
I think that's a Whip My Hair Back.
Oh yeah, whip my hair back and forth.
Wait,
I
that's
whip
Willow
my
too?
hair
I
back
believe so.
and forth.
He only
What?
has one daughter.
Oh yeah,
fuck?
yeah, that's Willow. Yep, Willow Smith. It's just crazy.
That song
I
is
was,
so
I was
good.
not saying like, are you sure it's not his other daughter? I was saying like, that's the same girl. I didn't know that was related to that song at all.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god, what the
Oh yeah, man. Will Smith raised remarkable children.
Absolutely, he's an icon.
I don't know. Don't say fucking icon. Oh my god.
Why?
That just reminds me of fucking Jaden Smith's fucking icon song, and it's so bad.
Oh, I didn't even think. I didn't
So
know. I
bad.
don't listen to Jaden Smith. No,
I've
fuck that.
listened to some of his shit, and I'm not a fan, but
He's got
He's
his
an
head on
artist.
his shoulders.
he's an
so-
artist. I'll
A
say he's an
bop.
artist.
Yeah.
He's a
No,
weird
he
guy.
puts
Yeah.
some stuff out there that makes you think. If you follow his Twitter, he'll say some things. He'll say some shit, especially when it comes to like our planet, like it's things that affect everybody. He just says some shit, and
Yeah.
like our soil is barren. You know, our ice caps are melting. He'll just go off on
He's
this.
just saying things that are facts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But
Gummy bears used to be made from whale blubber.
There's the splat.
meaningful things that and then he asks a question at the end of it to provoke thought. So
Yeah.
good job, Will Smith. I love Fresh Prince. You know what really sucks though? I mean, I love the song, okay, but when you're a DJ, you can't. It's so cringy when they drop the Fresh Prince theme song or intro
Where the
song.
fuck are you going that they're dropping that?
Yeah, I
that
would
man?
get down to that hard, but I've never
No.
heard that happen.
It's happened
lived
too
through
many
that.
times, and it's
I'm
like
jealous.
techno clubs. So
Oh, that's
you're
probably-
like
Oh, yeah.
going in
Nope.
on some stuff, and then all of a sudden do 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 do, and
That
they
shit
go off on
slaps,
it.
though.
I pulled.
It does.
Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding.
No, they don't even remix it. They just play it. I've heard it one too many times at the club.
I don't
like,
think that's
oh my
possible for me.
gosh. It's cringy, and what's
I think
even
all the other
cringier,
music would probably get on my nerves before that song ever did.
everybody sings along
Yeah.
because we all know the words. That's cringy.
I love that.
It was cool. It was cool the first two times, and then it kept happening.
Okay, I can see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
After a while, you're like, all right. Find something else to do.
Get a little off topic there. What,
A little
what
bit.
else?
I mean, I got more to
That's
talk
okay.
about, Doc.
Yeah, dude, open up, man, because
I'm
It's past
fucking
my
pissed
bedtime.
at my work right now.
what happened?
I'm just pissed at our leadership.
Yeah.
They're having meetings and discussing it, but the company I work for has always had a stance to not speak about anything that doesn't involve e-commerce. So anything politically that's happening, there are merchants that were super supportive of Trump and like Breitbart, shit like that
Uh-huh.
on Shopify. And a lot of people had problems with that. They're like, we're fucking moving platforms. We don't want to deal with this shit. They support all this racist rhetoric and these companies that should not be allowed to be on the platform with the same people who they're trying to degrade.
Right.
And my company would not say a word. And I mean, to an extent, I get it. If it's not e-commerce related, then the company shouldn't say something. But at this moment, we have a petition inside of our company to force our company to say something.
It's detrimental
publicly.
to not say something at this point.
It's for a company, an entity, I could see it being easy to just be like, it's not our place. This is a personal thing. Our company does not have a face, you know? But at this point, the excuse that we've heard is, oh, well, we don't have a stance on anything and we don't weigh in on these kind of topics because it's not related to e-commerce. Well, you know what? Do you know how many of our merchants are black? Do you know how many of them are being affected by this? Do you know how many of your employees are black? Do you know how many of your employees have black husbands, black wives, black children? And you don't want to say anything still? Get the fuck out of your chair and say something.
That it doesn't make sense from a bureaucratic standpoint, and this is exactly what's wrong with the country. They don't want to weigh in and give a definitive answer. They don't want to say one way or the other, and because
The way I see it is if anybody has a fucking problem with it, they can leave the platform and guess what? We no longer have a bunch of racist fuckwads on our platform, of which they don't need to be calling in for support. They don't need to be getting helped by a black person to grow their business when they're sitting there getting paid less than $18 an hour to take their phone call and help them succeed to make their $1 million. You know? Fuck
yeah.
those people. They can jog on.
I've seen a lot of businesses being canceled just for not saying something.
Yeah. Well, we are one of the same thing with
You
COVID.
say business.
We were one of the
being
last
canceled
companies, getting canceled for not saying anything or
for
saying the
not
wrong
saying
thing.
anything about it. Like what? Like who?
I mean,
I mean, like big
Doll's Kill,
corporate?
which is a pretty big
Doll's Kill,
clothing
yeah.
company.
I saw there's like a post about that.
And
where
then,
there
so
was
they
somebody
didn't
standing
say
outside of it, right?
anything. They didn't say anything, and then they ended up. The owner posted. I don't remember exactly what they said, but it was cops outside, and it was like, oh yeah, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're getting shit done, basically.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or it was
I
like an
see.
all lives matter kind of deal too.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Same thing with
they've always
Walmart.
been shitty though.
Walmart
Yeah.
gave 50% of their profits or whatever to Trump's foundation.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
like
a big
so many
message.
people are like, fuck Walmart.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
so
gosh,
same thing
dude.
with coronavirus. My company was the last downtown big tech office to say, okay, we're closing down for the safety of our employees and all this other shit.
I feel like tech is so progressive.
Tech
too.
is very progressive,
Like-
and we were the last ones to do it in tech.
Yeah.
here. And right now, we are slowly becoming the last ones to say anything, if we even do.
Yeah.
And if we don't say anything, I know for a fact
They're
there's
going to
gonna
go
be
to the
hell
people
play
who are
internally.
saying things.
Well, there's going to be hell to pay internally because there are multiple people. I've even said it. If my company doesn't say something, I don't know if I want to be there in a year.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be there in 2 years. I don't know if I want to be there in 6 months.
Mhm.
And I love my job. I love the people I work with. I love what I get to do. But I can't stand behind someone who can't stand up for something.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
everybody needs to be on the same page.
Especially when it comes to this,
Yeah.
dude. It's like if you can't say
Hey, I'm
that
not
Black
racist.
Lives Matter, or you have to change it to e-commerce lives matter, or whatever the fuck.
Or the
Like-
whole all lives matter thing, dude.
Yeah, like-
you kind of missed the point. And
You
the idea,
100% missed the
from
point.
what
You have to say
from-
all lives matter. Clearly, you're missing the point that right now Black lives don't matter to police officers.
You're in competition. It's like you're in competition. You know what I mean? It's like okay, if somebody says Black Lives Matter, and then you say all lives matter. Okay, yes, yeah, we get that, and that's we know that all lives matter.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
the point.
idea is that the idea is that Black Lives Matter too. You know,
Yeah.
that's the point of it. And no one's disputing that all lives that all lives don't matter. You know what I mean? No one's
Yeah.
saying that that's wrong. Okay,
We're actually echoing that by adding the people of color who aren't being treated as if they matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but when you see these, the like you see the discussions of people going back and forth, and then they're
no discussion
screaming.
from me.
Well,
Delete
it's
it off
not even a
Facebook. Delete it off
discussion.
friends group. And if
No,
they want it, they can have my address.
What I mean is arguments, screaming matches online. You see the videos, you know, Black Lives Matter, the protesters, and then you see Karen, all lives matter. It's like you don't. They're just trying to win the argument. You know, they're in competition with each other, and that's they just don't get it. You know what I mean? They don't understand. And I don't think that we should cut out those people that don't understand in our lives, because I don't understand. All right, and I would hate for somebody to act in anger towards me because I didn't understand, and I'd hate to act in anger towards somebody because they didn't understand. You know what I mean? And I know that this is a big deal. Okay, it's not just face to face. It's easy to talk about those things, and the protests are not the time to discuss personal politics. They really aren't. You don't go there to discuss personal politics. There's the cause, and that's why people are there. And I don't know. It really does a disservice
It takes away from the movement.
Yeah,
and the
exactly. To
progressive
the whole idea
ideas.
of it. It does. When you have
fucking Karens.
yeah, fucking Karens, or even so, like I've seen some Trump supporters are cool about it, and they're just like there's like a scene from of people going through a suburban type area, and they just had their American flags and Trump flags going on, and they were just standing outside being cool about it, but the protesters weren't having it. You know, it's an automatic.
It's not their time to protest. It's
All
not
right,
their time to do anything.
They're inviting that enraged engagement by being out there. Okay.
They want it.
Exactly.
So I'll disagree with you to an extent. It is on you if you want to stay a part of the people who are ignorant and the people who don't want to change or the people who don't understand. It is not on you to correct them. It is not on you to educate them. Same thing with any argument. The law of arguments is you provide your proof that it is wrong. Otherwise, you're wrong. That's the way it is. So if you send someone proof and then they rebuttal with, well, I've read articles that do this, and you say, may I please read them? And they say, go look it up. They're not really arguing. They're trying to end the conversation because they know they're fucking wrong. And you know what? I don't have time for that shit. I don't have the emotional capacity to deal with people like that. And I'm through with it. If anybody in my friends list supports Donald Trump and what he's been putting out there still, I'm giving a pass to the people who supported him when he first got elected. Those people, I've talked to those people still. And I'm like, how the fuck do you feel now, dude? And they feel like shit, most of them. And the ones that don't, bye. The next time I see you, I hope it's on good terms, because if it's not and it's at a protest and you're doing this shit, I will clock you and walk away from you forever.
That's how Hitler rose to power. How he got elected. It was through protest, and he used saboteurs and promised that nothing like this will happen again, because they burnt some building down or something like that. And people stood behind him. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And Trump seemed all right, especially, I mean, when you have shit to choose from, and he gets up there and he's doing what he says he's going to do, especially if you voted for him, and you see that and you're like, you know, he's actually doing what he says he's doing. It's easy to let your guard down, but at the end of the day, it's politics, and they're in it for themselves, man. And no, I don't even think that like people who support Trump you can't look at him and not say that, you know what I mean? Like he is in it for himself. It's for his brand deal. And I hear that across the board, everybody says that, you know, he's a businessman. He's in it for himself. He's a politician now, and politicians have always been in it for themselves.
Yeah.
How could he get richer? How could one of the richest men in the world get richer? Politics. He's got the real estate, all that other stuff, you know, and politics is just a way to bolster that up. All of our elected officials are going into these positions, coming out millionaires, you know, all of them, dude.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this is about. I think that people are recognizing that too. It's just one of the sprinkles on top of the shit cake. Everything, it's stacking up, and that's why it's worldwide. It's because it's happening worldwide. All the corruption, nobody likes it. And you know, maybe you're right, man. I'm not a violent person, dude. I don't want to hurt anybody. I'd hate to kill someone. I really would, dude. I own firearms, but I really don't want to shoot anybody. I don't, dude. But just the way that things are going for here, like, I don't want to be the guy sitting at home either, letting the other people fight the fight. You know, I don't want to be sitting around while everybody else is dying for my freedom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it hasn't gotten to that point yet, but things keep going the way that they're going, man.
It could. I mean, look what happened in what was that?
Look what happened in America, 1776.
1776. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, straight up. Boston Massacre.
Yeah.
Was that 76 or was that 70?
No, that's Independence Day. This one, 1776.
Oh, I'm talking about the Boston Massacre.
The Tea Party?
No, the Boston Massacre.
It sounds familiar. I just don't know any historical
protesters
figures
were in the streets, and they're standing around, not doing anything, protesting peacefully. And then, out of nowhere, a kid is hit in the face with the butt of a rifle by a police officer.
Oh, yeah.
Which then starts people gathering immediately to protest in that very spot that the kid was just taken out.
Yeah.
And they start throwing literal dirt clods. That's it. Not rocks, dirt, clumps of mud at the police officers. And they started shooting everyone. It's known as one of like the most bloody days in our history.
No,
And it was originally a protest that turned into riots, which then is now known as the Boston Massacre.
I want organization to this whole thing, because what's the next step?
It's coming. It's coming, dude. People are getting their shit together.
I guess we gotta be patient, man. Like accountability is a good thing, but that might help with the police. The
accountability is going to change a lot of things as far as police brutality is, which is what we're talking about.
Which is it's good, but
we can talk about the issue of corruption in politics, whatever.
There you go, man.
That's not today, you know.
Yeah. Okay. See, and that's whatever. That's just how I think. It's such a big issue. It's bigger
it doesn't
than this.
stem from one thing. It's our whole system.
Yeah.
I understand that, and I think a lot of people understand that, but I think a lot of people understand that the immediate that needs to happen is funding for their police, especially here in Austin. Austin is almost 40% of our tax-paying money goes to the Austin Police Department. Almost
City
40%.
Police? The city?
Yes,
Oh,
dude.
Damn, dude.
Almost 40%. That's a ridiculous amount. And dude, it's insane that they get that much money and then they can just beat the shit out of people that are paying their wages. That's the first step. We take that down to 25%. This is something that Lucian was talking about the other day. Take them down to 25%. See how that goes. If any police officers in a precinct have been found by a third party to have used their powers incorrectly, boom, guess what? Instead of that coming out of taxpayers' money, it comes out of the pension of that office, which then they will want to hold each other accountable, because hey, then you're fucking with everyone's pension.
You're fucking with their
money.
money.
Be a racist piece of shit. So then guess what? They're gonna have to look at people who've had priors. You know what just happened in California today?
No.
There are talks, it hasn't even been passed yet, to ban the ability to hire police officers with priors.
Oh, I saw that.
I can't fucking believe that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Police officers who have had prior misconduct.
Oh yeah.
Not just like you've had some cases that got shady and you killed someone or you shot at someone,
like domestic
or
abuse and
domestic abuse, stuff like that. It's people who have like had previous cases, basically.
Yeah.
Now in 2020, California, or San Francisco, I believe it was, is saying, you know what, maybe we should put a ban on police officers being hired into our city who have that kind of record.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, no fucking shit.
Yeah.
From the beginning, it should have been like that.
Wait, they hire criminal policemen? You know? Oh, that's an eye opener. That's a good point. I hope that they don't get satisfied with that though, because that's not enough. I don't think. I mean, that's a good start.
That's definitely a good start. Yeah. Don't hire the people that are going to do bad things.
That's just basic.
Now they
knowledge.
need to just fire the people that do bad things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another good point. What are they going to do after that though? That'd be crazy. What would like, I don't know. You know, something like this comes by because there's a lot of like criminal activity going on because of this. But I think that it has to get really, really bad, even for the criminals, like the people that for evil. I'll say for evil. You know, it has to get really bad for people to realize the evil that's in their hearts, for them to make to want a change. And I say this, and it literally contradicts anything I've said. It's like I say that you should help people that are down. You know, you shouldn't. Like a Trump supporter, you should help them because they don't know any better. It kind of contradicts it though, because if they're evil and they're doing this out of hatred, they get their ass whooped, they're probably going to, and they don't die, they're probably going to think long and hard about what what brought them to this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's just one good thing.
I mean, that's
come out
that's
of
a
violence,
legitimate,
honestly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like they could not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's person to person.
Who was it? Joe Rogan had this gentleman on the podcast, and he's a musician, a jazz musician, and he sat down with a Klansman and had a beer with him, and had a conversation with him. And and the Klansman was surprised that he was able to hold an intelligent conversation with a black dude. He had
like
no
he was actually
idea.
legitimately surprised.
Exactly.
He's like, I didn't think it was possible.
Yeah,
My grandpa
exactly.
told me.
And he kept talking to him, and the black I wish I knew his name. Anyway, the jazz musician was shit. I'm not good at typing and talking at the same time, mate.
All right, Megan's gonna
Let's see. Thank you
keep
very
talking.
much. So, anyway, he has multiple conversations across years with this Klansman, and dude ends up leaving the KKK. He realizes that he was wrong. And he's done this several times. I think he said like 7 or 8, maybe even more. I don't know, but 7 or 8 that he's touched base with again about it, and stuff like that, man. That inspires me to be a mediator between two broken sides.
Daryl Davis?
Yes, Daryl Davis. That's his name.
Apparently, it was 200 KKK members.
There you go. I'm an idiot.
No, I mean, you were right. The guy that he had a conversation with led to him then probably having conversations with at least 200.
That is just insane.
They just hang out.
That's great.
He'd get invited to Klan meetings, and
what the fuck? Dude,
yeah,
that
no
guy
joke.
Is undercover brother,
and
right there,
would,
dude. Holy shit!
He would go to them. He sat down with people in high up areas and had conversations, and some of them were dodgy. He surprised one of the head honchos up in Maine, I think it was, because he speaks properly and he spoke properly. No, in the eyes of the Klansman, he spoke literally and like of intelligence. He sounded smart. So
he spoke the language
Klansman
that the Klansman needed to hear.
They didn't think that he was a black dude, and they met in a hotel, and it was like, surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise,
oh my God.
And he sat down, and they had a conversation. It was thick.
They straight up to catch a predator. Those predators, dude.
They did. Yeah. No, he did, man.
That's sick.
No, dude. Yeah, no, this guy's. He's something else.
He's a badass, dude.
Dude, he's a super badass. And that's just inspiration for me to be a mediator. I want to change the hearts of men. I don't want to beat
Break
people
the hands.
senseless. I don't want to hurt people because I think that there's a select few of people that will never change, but most everyone, I do believe, they can be shown the error of their ways. They can learn from their mistakes. If I just express kindness and genuine caring and understanding to them as an individual, and then express what I know to them, then they'll.
You guys hear this motherfucker right now? You always talk about how you're so calloused and all this other shit, and I'm always like, dude, you're dumb. You're like,
so
no, I'm
soft.
such an asshole, and you're like sitting here talking
Little
about
softy.
putting the amount of love that you want to put into the world. Your dick will have to be the size of the Eiffel Tower, you know what I'm saying? So you can fuck the world for 72 hours.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
Speaking of inspirational,
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but
No.
I sent a video from TikTok as well to Megan last night that was kind of amazing. It was during the curfew shit that was happening. I think it was in New York. The guy there was like 115 people that were being like trapped right outside of his house. And he had a 3-story loft, and they basically took he opened his door and he was like, what's going on? And he's like, there's a curfew in place and the cops are trapping us here and they're starting to arrest all of us, and can some of us come in? And he just opened his doors to literally everyone that was in the streets.
Where was this
He
at?
said he could have 150
think-
people in his place, and there was like,
So he had like 100 and something people in his house.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let them leave because if they left, they'd be on their face in 5 seconds because of the curfew. And so he's like, they were sitting in his house for like 5-6 hours, and like he's on his first floor, very top floor. There were separate conversations going on, and he said that he was like walking through and stuff, because I saw another video about him actually.
Yeah.
He got interviewed.
oh,
Yeah, and it was really cool to hear how that experience went for him, as someone who wasn't being involved in like the looting, the rioting, the protest, even.
Just chilling in his house.
He was chilling in his house, and then he sees all these people, and he's like, "Yes, come in."
Mm-hmm.
He ordered pizza. He ordered pizza for all of them.
Nice.
He opened his house to literal strangers who have been put out in the media as thugs who have been vandalizing and breaking into people's houses.
They even try to use that video of them going into his house
as people
breaking
into
someone's
his house.
Yeah.
And he was like, no.
Damn.
And he said that he was sitting there and hearing all these conversations of people being like, you know what? Here's what we should have done better. Here's how we need to combat this in the future to make sure that it doesn't turn this way. And he's like, that's inspirational to me too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's insane. Like, of course, I feel like I would open my house to any amount of people, but I think I would have some hesitance. This guy had zero.
Yeah. I'd be
obviously
hesitant, man.
he lived in a pretty rich area. It's a three stories, dude, 3 separate floors.
It's probably like downtown.
Yeah,
New York,
downtown.
too, you know?
That dude has to have had some expensive shit in there.
Right.
He just let people sit all over his couch who have been out sweating all day. There were people dumping milk all over his bathrooms, his kitchen, his living room.
Oh yeah.
To try and get tear gas off of
Tear
himself.
gas
He
out
was
of their
cool
eyes.
with it. He was fine with it. He wanted them to do it.
He's got money.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the money,
well, I'm
it
just
was
saying,
more like the humanitarian side.
Right, exactly. Like it's just the floor, you know. It's
Yeah,
just
it's just
a
a
mess.
floor. It's just a $3,000 rug. It's just
See,
a
stories like
$1,000
that.
couch.
You're not gonna.
That shit's inspirational.
You're not gonna hear or see that on the mainstream, all right?
Nope.
Because they are painting a picture, okay?
Yep.
They are controlled, and they're allowed to show you certain things to get you to think a certain way.
That narrative doesn't work for them.
You know, that narrative's not working anymore either. People are waking up. Now, that's such a great story. I feel better after having heard that, honestly.
No, dude, honestly, like,
I feel great right now. That's just warmed me up.
Dude,
It was wholesome.
TikTok,
It is. That's
I've
wholesome.
talked my shit about TikTok, dude. About
Yeah.
how, like, I feel creepy when I'm on it. And I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'll get on it right now and I'll scroll through, and then every, like, 25 posts, maybe there's, like, some chick dancing or, like, some random video of something stupid. Maybe because I haven't been on it for so long and that it's been flooded with all this Black Lives Matter stuff and all these videos of protests and stuff. But, like, a lot of it was breaking my heart, dude. Like
Yeah.
I was saying, I got choked up talking to my mom about going to the protest.
Yeah.
And, like, walking through the streets, I got choked up. Not because I was there and, like, oh, this is so beautiful, we're having a peaceful protest. It was killing me, the fact that I needed to be there.
Yeah.
Not the fact that I wanted to be there, the fact that I needed to be there. As a white person, I needed to be there to support. And that fucking killed me. Because obviously, the way that I feel is that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have to be a protest. It should be common fucking sense, common decency.
I wonder if so. Joel's visiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're supposed to see each other this weekend. I wonder if he wants to go protest. I feel inspired. I go.
Dude, honestly,
walk the streets and
Do
just
it.
feel the camaraderie, you know.
camaraderie
Mhm.
and,
Know
like,
what I
honestly,
mean?
just be there to show your support, dude. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. They're not gonna see your face. They're not gonna see anything. They're not gonna know, oh, Aaron stuck his neck out there and
Well,
Aaron
I don't
did
care.
this.
I don't care
You know,
that they see
no,
my
I-
face.
no,
or
It's
that's
not.
even
what-
more
that's what I mean,
empowering,
though.
honestly.
Yeah,
It's
I don't-
more
I don't care
empowering
if they see
wearing
my
the
face.
mask and no one knowing that you're out there.
okay.
I didn't post any pictures of myself being out there. I didn't even bring my phone out there.
Yeah,
And
I
it
wouldn't
wasn't
bring mine out
because
there either.
It wasn't because it's the same thing as sometimes when you go on vacation and you're like, you know what? This is for me. This is something that's a memory for me. You know what I'm talking about? You don't really need a photo to post on your Instagram. You don't need a photo to post on your Facebook for everybody to see. It's just for
I don't
you.
bring my
I
phone
wanna
into
say
the bar, dude, because it takes
that-
away from the experience.
I did bring my phone and I did take pictures and stuff because I didn't want to forget, but also I brought my phone in case something happened, like white people
Yeah.
started rioting. I wanted to record that
Right.
just to
Yeah.
show that, like, what's happening in real life and not what the news is saying.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I did say something kind of contradictory of what I just said to Megan yesterday. That, ooh, excuse me, I just got bowed up. Great restaurant, by the way. Sorry. No, about the photos and stuff. I did say that I kind of regretted not bringing my phone. Not because I wanted, like, a picture of me, like, hey mom, I'm out at the protests, or like, hey, check out what I've been doing, but just like some of the graffiti, or just like some of the stark images of people that are clearly hurting, shouting and talking to police officers who are either showing no emotion or showing some sort of emotion or talking with them. That's more powerful than like any selfie I could have taken or anything. And that's why I didn't want to take it, because I was like, I don't want to make this about me or be like, hey, look, I did my deed, you know? But then part of me was like, I do wish that I had something to show people what it's actually like out
What
there.
it was like. I was there, you know.
Yeah,
like,
and like Megan has those. She's got full video of like the police officers talking. She's got video of some of the other guys that were talking out there, and it was great.
It'd be history eventually, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was at
And
the,
I also just didn't want to
COVID
like
protests.
forget how it felt to be there. I want to like look at it and like remember, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's for anyway, you know.
Right, it's still
to look back
Yeah.
onto it. We've debased photography to clicks and likes and social acceptance. That's why I don't like social media, dude. I
Dude,
hate it so
it took
much,
me a while.
man.
So we'll probably be wrapping up soon. I don't want to cut it off too early, but I know
Okay.
you got work tomorrow. I got work tomorrow.
I do.
Also, my audition's primary temporary volume is low on disk space.
Oh,
So
wow.
it might stop recording soon. Hopefully not.
Okay,
but,
well, you want to end it there then? I mean, we
No.
no. Okay.
What was I about to say? What were we talking about just now?
Photos, phones.
Memories,
Brains mush.
Social
photos,
media.
memories. Social media
Yeah.
sucks.
My memory. I should have taken a photo of the idea
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
had.
You should dig in a picture
Then
of
I
that.
could share it with you. I don't remember.
Oh well. Good points today. Good discussion. It's something that everybody should do, honestly. Like with the people around you, regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on. You reach out and try to have that conversation. Try to have this conversation, okay? And
And
try
if you're
to.
on the right side of that fence and you don't know what to do as an ally, or you don't know what to do as a protester, all you have to do is ask.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to a protest, ask someone who's there, who's outspoken, who's leading. Ask them what they want you to do. How can you help? Or literally just look on Facebook, look on any social media. There's guides on how to be a good ally. There's people out there that are saying the right ways to support the people right now.
Yeah.
Additionally, if you can't make it to protests, you should be doing what you can as far as spreading the messages that are positive.
You can donate to bailout funds,
Yeah, bailout funds. There's
memorial funds.
supporting local businesses that are Black run, Black owned. I can give you a couple links, Aaron, to put into the video if you want.
Okay.
For some Black owned
If I
businesses
want,
here
man,
in Austin
just
that are
fucking
local.
send them to me. I
Fucking send it, bud. I'll send.
fucking send them, dude. Fucking
I'll send it.
send them.
But yeah, that's the support and solidarity for our Black brothers and sisters, and all persons of color. Really.
Oh, and hold on one
It
second.
needs to happen unified across the whole front of the internet,
It does.
the world.
What I want to say, one more thing that I want to say is, so I do listen to conservative media. I listen to all types of media,
You kind of.
and one thing I don't like is that the on the right they do like to instigate, because they do have facts, right? But
Yeah.
they miss the idea of it. So they try to talk into circles and they make people look bad, and I hate that. Or like the guy on the right's obviously like smarter, you know what I mean? They obviously read and they're in it and about it, and they pick some random guy that's, you know,
Yeah,
acting
like
out
that'd
of
be
emotion.
like me talking politics.
Not
Like
exactly.
I'm very leftist.
Not expecting
But
the
it's emotional,
conversation,
you know?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This whole situation is just the one reason why I think it's important to look at both sides. Because if you only stick to the one side, then you're gonna be you're being fed on what to think and what to say. You have to
definitely
look at the whole
agree
picture.
with that.
Yeah,
Because there's
take
extremists on
everything.
both sides.
Exactly.
And you can just, these days, you can just pick and choose whatever fits your rhetoric, honestly.
Yeah.
You can just go look it up and you can find anything that fits what you see.
Find me the man and I'll find the crime, or something like that. Bring me the man and I'll find the crime, essentially, is what it is. Yeah. Some Stalin tactics. Yeah, I thought about that.
Thought, dude.
But yeah. I mean, you already closed it up pretty nicely there. But yeah. Anything else? Closing remarks on this whole situation. I keep fighting the good fight. Let's keep doing it, man.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
I'm inspired. I hope you're inspired. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about going, and
You should. Let me know.
to show some support. I'll bring a helmet, because I really don't want to get fucked up. I'm the guy that
Yeah, definitely bring a helmet.
I'm the guy that
Find some goggles.
that
You're the guy who
fucked
gets
up.
decks of cards thrown at his face,
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, I get fucked up. Like see that little mark right there? This deck of cards did that. I'm the guy that's like, whoa, hold on a second now, as the police baton is coming to my face because I stepped in between, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't we all just bam? That's me right there.
But yeah, so to echo what Aaron was saying,
Mhm.
thank you anybody who's listened this far, and if you do feel so obliged, and I hope you do, write letters to your legislators, go out there and protest if you can. If you can't, do your part and share the message. Share the right messages.
Do your research.
Do your research,
Yeah.
or talk to people that you know do their research.
Yeah. Spread the love.
Get the facts from other people if you have to. But
Yep.
we're a unified nation for the most part. And I think
For the
that
most part.
for the most part, I think that on all fronts we need to be unified, and hopefully we can be after something like this. And I want to thank Megan for coming on.
Yeah, thanks,
Second
Megan.
time on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be links in the description for places that you can help go to help support the Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah, hope you guys are safe out there, and stay strong.
Stay strong.
I'm just gonna put my fist up, even though I had to
Yeah.
do this for 7 minutes the other day, and it
Did
hurt
you?
so bad.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'll close it out with a baby story time. Okay, it's kind of funny, but
Okay.
it's serious as fuck. I don't know, just like me, I guess. So at the protest, of course, using like the symbol of power for POC, I was doing that like nonstop while we were walking, while we were standing there. Megan was doing it, a bunch of people were doing it, and we're all standing around. And I tried to make it a point to leave it up as long as I could most of the time, or until it started to kind of ache. And so I'm just standing there like this, and then like walking down the road, holding her hand, my hand's up. I'm trying to hold it up as long as I can. As soon as it starts to get a little weird, I'd probably switch to the other hand. Then we get to the Capitol, and a couple people had some conversations, and there were some talks, and then we were gonna do 7 minutes of silence for George Floyd. And so I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And so I put my fist up, and I had it up for probably 2 minutes, maybe a minute, honestly. And I'm sitting there, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep it up for a little bit longer. And then he's like, all right, let's start this. Everybody put your fists up. So everybody puts their fists up. And then he goes, now hold it for 7 minutes. And I was like, fuck, I've been doing this way too long already. And I made it the whole 7 minutes, and that's nothing.
Yeah.
That police officer's knee was on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes. So 2 minutes longer than I could physically hold my arm up.
Mhm.
And there was a kid next to me, probably 15. And they were telling everybody, if you hold your arm up, hold it up as long as you can. If it starts to hurt, tell everyone that you're in pain. Scream it out as loud as you can. Scream it if you need to. Tell everyone. Say you want your mama. Say that you're in pain.
Say that you're hurt.
Say that you're hurt. And I wanted to stay quiet. I mumbled to Megan a couple times that this fucking sucks. This sucks. This sucks.
Oh, yeah.
It was not fun. And this little kid next to me, I see him struggling, and he wants to. I can see it that he wants to keep his arm up, and he can't. And so I take my fist and I put it underneath his fist, and I'm holding his arm up too.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, that sucked too. And then after a second, I saw like a second wind in him.
Yeah.
And I took my fist away and kept it up. And then he was pushing me to continue keeping my arm up. They're like, okay, 4 minutes left. I'm
There
like,
you go.
Fuck, that was only 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And Megan's arm starts getting a little tired. I try to do the same thing with her, with my shoulder. And then I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I can make it. 3 minutes left. She goes to help me, and I don't know. I couldn't take the help. You know? I wanted to do it. No matter if my arm, I couldn't use it the next day. I left it up, and I don't regret it. It definitely hurt for like a good while afterwards, and then it was sore. It's still a little sore today. But also, like, what the fuck have I been doing with my life, you know? I can't hold my arm up for 7 minutes. I've been sitting in a room for 2 months, dude. I've been sitting in a room for 2 months.
I've been sitting in a room for 10 years, dude.
Basically,
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That was kind of inspirational too, seeing literally everyone there keep their arms up,
Yeah.
and people literally yelling all around, just like, this hurts, this sucks. And it's like, yeah, well, at the end of it, that's whenever one of the guys who was speaking earlier was like, now imagine that pain and remember it. He's like, that pain that you're feeling in your neck and your shoulder, that's nothing compared to the pain that he felt for 9 minutes. And I was like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, that hits hard, man.
Yeah, and that was, I did that to myself, you know.
Was that before the protest, the middle?
That was during. That was in the middle of
During?
it. So it started at APD downtown, which is right off 35. We walked all the way up to Congress, and then down to the Capitol. And it was at the Capitol, like halfway through the talking at the Capitol, is when they did that, and then we had a police escort, kind of probably 20, 30 minutes after that, and then we walked all the way back down to APD.
Yeah.
And it was honestly, it was powerful as fuck, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And
Moments
then
like those.
after that, dude, so the whole time, I'm just gonna keep fucking going.
Yeah.
After that, we're walking back, and I kind of had a conversation with Megan about, you know, like after seeing all the, of course, like the state troopers that were up there, none of them were budging at all. But as we're walking back down the streets, you see some of the cops standing there, and they put their fists up in the air, and like,
Oh yeah.
they're not anywhere close to us, but they're putting their fists up in the air, and like, that kind of choked me up a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
damn. I was like, because I went into it, I was like, you know what, ACAB, fuck all cops, all pigs, fuck 12, like all that shit.
Yeah.
Same.
And I was like, you know what, maybe it's really not like that.
That's what I'm saying about that face-to-face conversation.
I will let you know
Yeah.
though, I am still ACAB until the statistics change, because they're still part of a problem. The good cops don't have their jobs anymore. The good cops aren't allowed to be there at the protests,
Yeah.
because they would be there, they would be vocal. The ones who are there that don't do anything, don't show solidarity, or the ones that show solidarity and then tear gas and mace people and beat people and shoot people, they're bad cops. And if you're there with them, you're bad just as much.
I mean,
Hopefully it makes them
they're
think.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. They might not necessarily be bad cops. They're just weak cops. You know,
Yeah.
weaken. Their constitution is weak, and
What was-
maybe they won't be able to take it. You know, seeing all these people angry at them, and maybe it'll take them, you know, give them that boost that they need to make the change in their life. So, you know,
Yeah.
maybe
I feel
you
like
know,
it could just take one powerful moment to change their mind. You
Exactly. Yeah. One powerful moment, and I think that it's like that with everybody that's not evil. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you think a cop's a bastard. That's
I'm
fine.
sure none of them
man.
go in there
No,
evil.
I mean, so that's another thing.
There's
We
a
were talking
difference
about,
between being a bastard and being evil. You know.
well, we were talking about the term
Oh yeah,
ACAB.
yeah. It's not from the word bastard. It's derived from the term bastardize, to
Okay.
corrupt.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's
That makes
basically
sense.
all cops are corrupt.
It's a
Yeah.
corrupted.
That's
Yeah.
essentially
a corrupted
yeah.
system. Yeah.
It is. I think it makes
So,
sense.
I think we're gonna end it there, guys
Thank
and
you
gals.
very much.
If you would hit the like button.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have
that's
to.
it though.
Yeah,
that bell.
that's all right. No, we're not gonna.
But
go
if you
there.
have anything you want to talk about or say to us, fucking
hit us up, man.
DM us on any of the socials, which are still
Yeah.
there.
We
and
check
if you,
them. We just don't post anything.
yeah, if you're racist or anything like that, you can message us too, and I'll tell you to
Yeah.
get fucked.
Nah,
Um,
fucking hit us up. You think I'm wrong? I welcome a conversation. I'll even
Yeah, I
meet
wouldn't
you
hit
in
me up.
person. Nah, meet up with
I'll try
me.
and get you doxxed or some shit. You fuck.
Nah, I wouldn't do docs.
I mean, I'm not gonna do the doxing.
Oh yeah.
No, no, seriously, I don't think anybody is gonna
What?
be watching this that's gonna be racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either. Especially with the description. You know, they're not gonna. Watch
Also,
this.
since we are the P.E.E.N gang, I just want to say, penis.
Penis.
So, you gotta have at least one dick
First
joke,
time.
right?
There you go. One. That's the only one. Thanks, guys. We will. This is a little late to apologize for the late episode, but there's.
Oh
since
yeah.
all this
So
stuff- sorry about the late episode.
this is the reason why.
Yeah.
There's a lot to go over with this episode. Additionally, I had to leave to go to Dallas earlier in the week when we usually record.
We're just keep going, aren't we?
No, I'm just giving the brief.
Yeah.
The brief.
Nah,
We're gonna
we'll,
keep going.
we'll catch up. We'll catch
Yeah.
up next time, typo.
We'll catch up
all
next
right?
time.
Yeah.
Smell you guys later.
Expect this Monday. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.